right, it is January 23rd. This is GameEnthus podcast episode 444. I hope, because I've been messing up the numbers as of late. Hopefully, I'm not. Also, if you're in the chat and you cannot hear us, please say something because I didn't really do the best sound check. So hopefully, it's all working. Anyway, I'm Aaron from GameEnthus.com, and hopefully, somebody does. Okay, Phantom People says it's going okay. It sounds great. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Anyway, we're here to talk about board games and geeky stuff. But before we get to all that, just some anecdotal stuff and introduction. So we have joining me today, we have Amanda Panda.
Hello.
Hello, Amanda. So for the people who don't know you, tell a little bit about yourself.
I'm Amanda Panda, aka Panda Angel. That's PANDA, the number 8 NGEL, everywhere. I'm a board game Twitch streamer. Sometimes I also do some arts and crafts. And yeah, I love streaming and guesting and hanging out with awesome people like Aaron and Candice.
Oh, flattery will get you everywhere.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Totally.
Where did it get me this time, huh?
Another invite to this puppet show of a show? I don't know.
I won't whoop up on you and Brian Boru.
Oh.
Well, that's something.
There we go.
We also have Candice from BGG joining us, who's also a game designer, and I look forward to hearing more about her game Stage Left. But I don't know if we'll hear more about it today or not, but the iteration I've seen, I was excited.
Thank you, Aaron. I'm way overdue. Like, I have a list where I'm like supposed to hit you up to do a playtest at some point. I know you expressed interest too, Amanda, or you were down to check it out.
Yes, I'm like, wait, hold on. Why did Aaron get a playtest invite and not me?
This is from probably like last year we talked about this.
It's been a while.
I've had, and I think it's like the hard part is sometimes the East Coast time zone.
Yeah.
Pesky 3 hours.
But guess what? In 2022, I'm going to make it happen.
All right.
But hello, everyone. Hello.
Yes.
All right, James is here. The show can start.
Hi, James. Real quick, Candice, are you going to Prototype Con, show it off at the Prototype Convention at Dice Tower West?
Possibly.
Ooh.
Possibly.
Okay.
Possibly.
I'm excited now. Excited.
Okay. So, Candice, a little bit about you.
Let's see. I write for BGG News. I host a show called Cardboard Creations where I interview game designers. I'm working on a game, as we were just talking about. I'm a drummer. Not really actively playing music lately, but because board games take up all of my time. And I recently became obsessed with Arkham Horror, the card game.
Okay.
She's also in coin game, like async games with Watch It Played Ronnie Smith. I mean, she just wanted to show us off with her long list of accomplishments, and she has a full-time job on top of all of this.
Yeah,
and I just feel like,
what
am I doing with my life?
Oh, I just spilled tea on myself.
Oh, sorry.
We would have never known, but
I know.
Now we can judge.
Now you do.
So before we get into the board games of the year stuff, just Candice, anything that you want to mention that you've been up to as of late that you want to share with us?
Well, I recently went to Star Wars Land, or I guess Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland.
Okay, how was that?
Like
jealous.
2 Mondays ago. Yeah, so Matt, my partner, he's a huge Star Wars fan, and for his birthday, like, we're trying not to do so many gifts and just buy stuff for each other. So we'd like to do experiences or trips or something. And we were just like, let's just go to Disneyland. And we went his birthday is the 3rd, and we went on January 10th, which is a Monday. We got there super early, and the park actually opened at 9, and we thought it was opening at 8. So we were up really early, got down there, waited in line to get in the parking lot. But long story short, we got to ride both of the like really cool Star Wars rides before like 10:30 in the morning.
Oh, nice.
Cause like we did the little like, it's like a fast pass thing. I forget what they call it, but it was totally worth it. It was a very chill day there. We had our masks on the whole time. And yeah, it was really cool. And we just hung out, walked around, felt like feel like you're in a Star Wars movie, which was really, really cool. So, yeah, that's about it.
Okay, well, because
So
you mentioned
this-
Star Wars, I have to ask you about what your thoughts are about the latest trilogy.
Wait, what is? Okay,
Yeah.
what are you specifically? There's so much Star Wars coming out on Disney Plus. Like,
Yeah,
what do you
what
mean?
latest-
No, I mean the
trilogy.
last 3 movies, essentially.
Oh, with like
Oh, with
Daisy
Rey?
as-
Yes.
yeah, with Rey. Okay.
I like them.
Okay, cool.
I like them.
I'll add that to your
I
file.
think they're.
You like them.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
I'm
I'm
like
not super
Rey, the
picky.
character. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I love Kylo.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
Interesting.
I don't know. I think I like Rosie and that guy,
Finn?
the two of them. Finn, yes, I love Finn.
Yeah, I didn't
Oh,
like the
yeah,
second
yeah.
movie because their like romance was interesting, but then they did nothing with it.
Yeah.
So it was like, well,
sad.
I know a lot of the scenes couldn't be used because Carrie Fisher died, but it felt
Yeah.
because when you have different directors coming in and handing stuff off,
Yeah.
it was 45 minutes of that movie was focused on them, and it meant
Yeah.
literally nothing. Like,
Mm.
but I'm sorry, I had to ask because you mentioned Star Wars. I just had to know.
Yeah. No, I'm not like overly opinionated. Like I go in, I watch it, and I'm like, this is cool. That was really well done.
Okay.
So
That's how
That's-
I feel
that's a good way
about
to do it.
Marvel movies too. Marvel movies, I'm like that. I'm like, okay, that was a fun like little
Yeah.
action. I'm not going to delve into how like, there's only one woman or like, that really wouldn't have happened or the timeline issue. I'm just like it's just
Yeah.
You just have fun with it. It's just like we're here to look at this thing and enjoy. That's a better way of looking at it. Because I disliked the Last Jedi. No, I disliked that one, the middle one so much.
Where
I went
when
into the
Luke
third.
Skywalker was training Rey, that one.
Yes, that was the middle one, right?
I
think.
I don't remember.
What's the one where he?
I don't
well, yeah.
remember.
I didn't like
Okay.
that one at all. So I intentionally went into the third, like as if
With
how I went
low
into
expectations.
the original trilogy when I was like 4 or 5 years old. Like, let me just enjoy this for
Okay.
what it is and
Yeah,
not
cool.
get bogged down. Because if I go in with like 40-year-old man expectations, it's like this is not working out. So no,
Did
that's
you,
my mentality.
Did you guys watch the new Dune movie?
I did.
Not yet.
I
Not
did
yet because
watch
they're
it.
like
Oh,
it's only you should only watch it in theaters and
I watched
I'm
it at
like, I'm
home
not
on a
going
Friday
I
night,
watched
like on HBO
I've
Max.
seen it 4 times, and I didn't go to the theater, but one time we watched it outside on like a big screen in my friend's backyard.
Oh,
Nice.
that's so cool.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I have no real affinity for the books, no real affinity. Like I saw the original movie when I was a little kid, and I was so confused. I'm just like,
It's wacky.
Dad, what is happening? Like,
I like the original 2 movies. I watched them both. I like them. I have never read the books.
there were
like
2 Dune
It's
movies.
it's just
there's-
one movie.
No, there was the second Dune movie. I
Movie?
thought.
Was this the
Yeah.
fan made one where they took stuff from the
don't
TV show and kind of smushed it together? Because I heard that that
I don't
exists.
know.
TV
I
show.
remember there's a second
Dune
movie.
TV
There was a
for
mini
Dune.
series, wasn't there?
Okay,
I didn't
are
even
we
know
on
that.
2 different timelines? Is this like the Mandala effect or whatever? I mean,
It's
like
Berenstain Bears.
Berenstein Bears. I'm like, this is confusing.
Berenstein Bears. Yeah,
Yeah,
Berenstein Bears.
It's not Bearstein Bears. It's Bearstein Bears.
Well, it really said Berenstain. We all just happened to say Berenstein collectively
Steen.
for some strange reason. Who knew?
I don't know.
Dune was good. I enjoyed it. It's funny. A guy I grew up with, a friend of mine. I haven't spoken to him in a while, but a friend of mine growing up. His dad is an actor. He was remember the part where they were in a little helicopter thing?
Yeah.
He was an older, light skinned black man with freckles and like gray hair.
Oh, that's cool.
Stephen Henderson. He's been in a bunch of stuff, so it was nice to see my friend's dad in a movie and stuff like that. I thought it was
That's
pretty cool.
really cool. Yeah, I
So-
just thought the cinematography was amazing and the music just all with it.
I feel like people are saying that it's like a setup for the next movie.
Yeah.
was.
It's not like a story in itself. It's like a setup for the next movie.
Yeah,
That's-
You don't know the
that's
story
kind of the
itself.
only complaint is
Yeah.
like the way it ends is like, yeah.
Oh, Phantom Meeple said that there was a Dune miniseries, 3 episodes back in 2000.
Wow.
I've never
didn't
seen
even
them.
know that.
Maybe I saw the 3 of them together. I don't know.
Maybe saw them together and watched it
I didn't even know
twice
that though.
for some strange reason.
No. I watched the original Dune movie. I thought there was another movie, but maybe I saw the miniseries.
So they're making 1 more or 2 more movies.
I thought it's a trilogy. Is it not?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I don't know if it's 2 or 1 more.
I will say, what's the guy's name? The main character, the actor's name, Timothy something.
Oh yeah.
He's going to be the new Willy Wonka, and I'm like, he looks like he's 7. Why? Is Willy Wonka going to be the same age as the kids? Like what is this? That seems weird.
I mean, he has that weird, like, gangly look to him.
He has some gangliness. That is true.
I don't think he has that old, timeless, but I'm still a kid vibe that I feel from Willy Wonka. Timothy Chalamet. There you go.
Chalamet, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
That's I could not think of his name. So.
Chalamet. So yeah.
All right.
I was just like,
well, I'm glad you enjoyed Galaxy's Edge. We went from Star Wars to Dune.
We're covering it all today.
That's right.
Yes, all the geeky stuff, y'all.
All right. So Amanda, you have to compete with that. What geeky stuff have you been doing?
I've been sneezing because of the wind.
Okay, that's. I'm not sure if that's geeky or not.
I was like last night. I was like, yesterday. I was like, I might not be on here because my power has been out for the last, 10 hours. So luckily I am here. But yeah, it's
we're glad you're here.
The wind has been whipping up everything, and it's crazy. So I am feeling very stuffy, but it's not COVID. It's just like you have to say that.
Oh yeah, when you sneeze or cough.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. People still look at you like.
I know. A good thing we're not in the same room. Where this is a meeting over internet, and so it's the safest thing you can do. But yeah, what have I been doing lately that's been geeky? I got to play games in person with another pair of lovely friends who has been sequestered on a campsite because they live in a tiny home. So it's really cool. I got to see their tiny home, stay in their tiny home, but like they just stay in the middle of nowhere. They don't want anyone within a mile of them, and they've been very, very safe, wearing masks and stuff, totally boosted and vaccinated. So I felt safe because I've also been pretty much isolated. I don't go to my meetups anymore after like the Omicron boom and stuff. So it's just like people are wearing still like cloth masks or the gator things, and I'm just like, oh, stay away. Yeah, so we got to play some games. I got to show them stuff, but it's interesting because I'm sure like Candice, Aaron, we are all 3 of us. We can learn multiple new games at one sitting, right? And we can play like maybe 5 or 6 new games. Like I have, I mean, when it was safe, that's how our minds work because we have to get new games to review or make content for and stuff. But like my friends are like, this is the 3rd new game. I need a break, or we need to not play any more new games. Don't teach me anything new.
That's how my household is.
I have some friends like that.
Like,
yeah.
It's
just
like no, my brain. Stop.
I'm like,
is something wrong with us?
No.
Okay.
It's just no. There's nothing wrong with them either. It's
That's
just
true.
Like, I guess we've also like kind of
we
made ourselves do this. I don't know.
Well, I think one of the things, because I think about this a lot too, like when I have a friend who's like not a super gamer friend, but does play some things, like she likes viticulture and other, she's played a decent amount of games, but it's just like, it's so taxing to learn another game. And I think sometimes it's because it does take, eat some brain power, but I think sometimes I noticed the trend with a lot of people who like to win a lot and like kind of like where it becomes stressful instead of like, I'm just like, I'm curious. So bring it on. Show me a new game. Let's do it. And I don't mind like not fully understanding something and just getting thrown in and, losing. But like some people, they're so want to win, it's like to learn a new game and try to remember rules and not get it confused. Like they're feeling like they're doing a bad job or something.
I have to
And I think
remember
that kind
that.
of stresses them out a little bit.
It would be helpful
also-
if I took that into account more when I'm like my wife. My wife likes to
Yeah.
win, so she wants to
Oh.
play
Yeah.
point salad and things that she knows. Uno.
She
'cause
knows,
She
yep.
knows, and she beats me consistently. And she's not like she's like. Plus, her job is really stressful too. So it's like she feels like for a living, I'm always trying to do things on the fly and invent a process and execute it. I don't want to do that in like my spare time. I need to remember that because
Yeah.
it's
And
different.
it's yeah, and people learn differently. Like we can learn with like just reading and or like listening and just doing our things, right? But some people need to process what they're learning and kind of slow down, or they need to like get the rules or get the new information and then just sit for a minute, or like
Mhm.
do something else for the day, and then your brain process it, and then they can go in and do that. It's just like it just depends on how, like, my friends are
Yeah.
not competitive, but like I think it's too much new stuff in one like
Yeah.
3-4 hour sitting. Then they're like, I'm done with school, let me go.
Yeah.
So I did lighter games, which helped because lighter games, lighter on the rules. It's cute. They're more into it. A lot more co-ops with them because then if they get something wrong, it's okay because we will, work with them and stuff. So
Yeah, starting off with PAX Premiere probably wasn't the best thing to do, Amanda. In hindsight, I'm just gonna put that out there.
oh my gosh, I have not played that in person yet. Like I've only played it online. And I'm
I've never
just
played
like,
it at all.
With me.
With you? Oh, I played it with you. You're right. You're right. We
Yeah.
did play it together.
Who won?
I was like, I
I'm
played
kidding.
it with.
It doesn't matter. I'm just kidding. It doesn't matter.
Well, me and Candice are relatively close. I say relatively in that I can literally drive to her house, but if
Yeah.
we're not close in that we will be able to get together regularly. It's
Yeah. We're
in Southern
not that
California.
close.
It's a thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
California is a thing where we live close enough to reach each other by car, but not close enough to meet each other weekly. It's weird. It's
Right.
weird. Yeah.
Is it a traffic thing? I don't know.
I guess so.
That has to be a factor. I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
I don't
Getting
live
out of
there,
your
so I just
own
hear about how
little-
horrible traffic is. That's all.
Yeah.
It's an effort. Yeah.
It
It's
is an effort. It
20
really is an
minutes?
effort.
No, it's really 4 hours. So,
Actually, 20 minutes in Southern California is not that far. That's where you would go pick up food and come home, which is really interesting.
That's
Yeah.
how the DMV is like. Everything is at least like at least a half an hour. But
Yeah.
then it's like,
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah. I mean, and then
Hey, Carly.
hi, Pink Fluff.
Poison Pink Fluff.
Poison Pink Fluff. Welcome.
Aren't you
James
from San
says,
Diego?
oh, yeah. So James is like, it's good to revisit a game by like learning new things and seeing new things, and back-to-back plays helps you solidify
Yeah.
stuff and
Totally.
And yeah, but I agree that you need a balance. Like learn
True.
a new game, switch to something light, that or something, just to like help you relax a little bit more, or stop, eat something, chat. It's a social thing. It should not be
Yeah.
like, let's play this game. Although I have to say, Eric Yoko from What's Eric Playing came down for work to our area, from Northern California, and so we met at a game house, and guess what? It was 8 new games back to back. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Because he needs to review them all and play
Yep.
them all. And luckily,
Yeah.
I'm like, sure,
Right.
But that's not for
Not
everyone.
everybody is.
Yeah, Benita and I
Yeah.
sometimes get together and play games because we both have so many things we need to play, and we play Vivid Memories.
Oh, that's cool.
And we didn't have the instructions, so he just pulled up with a PDF and she's just reading it. I'm just like, I don't think I could do this. The game was fun. It just at first I was like, I don't know. I need a visual.
Because you both have the same games and you can mirror each other, right? It's not
A
like
lot of times, yeah, we can double up on something and knock it out.
That's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I was like, where's my invite? Huh?
You're always welcome. I've been at her house, but I mean, I can't.
Yeah.
If you're ever in the area,
Yeah,
let me
you're
know.
not getting together in person, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
never
what-
mind.
yeah.
Never mind. Man,
Yeah.
I'm jealous now.
You got to fly out?
I know, I got to fly out.
She's
and
about
stay out there.
35, 40 minutes from me. So, yeah, we'll just
That's cool.
bring a bunch of
That's
stuff
okay.
and check stuff off the list. What's next?
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
That's even better.
She usually
Yeah,
wins, which
Yeah. Well, she's competitive too.
she
Benita's.
is. She does like to win. That is true.
She's a competitive.
Oh, so just jumping back to the previous topic for 1 second, with people that like to learn new games or don't feel, enjoy learning lots of new games versus like playing the same game often and like kind of mastering it.
Mhm.
The way I think about it is like this: travel. Like, I went to Italy in 2012 and had an amazing time. And every time I think about going on an international trip, I like I definitely like want to go back to Italy. I want to go back to Italy, but I also want to see the rest of the world. So to me, like, yeah, it is a balance of like, sure, I'll pop back to Italy at some point, hopefully, but I also want to see the rest of the world. So that's where I get excited about like breaking out a new game, and like when people want to show me a new game.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's that kind of mentality, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's a good
just
way
to
of looking at it.
build on that analogy, like it's like, okay, when you are doing a self tour to other new countries, you have to research the, your hotels and your restaurants and how to get around and stuff, and that's a lot of brain power. But if you go back to some place you've already been, you're like, oh, I have this list of things I already know, and
Yep.
I could just
Yep.
reference that and do that, and so it's a lot less brain power. But you can kind of like see little things that you maybe have missed in Italy and stuff like that. While in the,
Yep.
it's often daunting to like, even if you're going on a tour that someone else is teaching you
Mhm.
and have already done some of the road work for, it's still extremely daunting
Mentally,
to go to a new place
yeah.
mentally and learn stuff. But once you're there, you're fine. It's just that then you need a day off of work to relax at home,
Yeah.
that type of thing. But that's a great analogy, Candice.
Yeah, thanks. That's the way I think of it, because I'm like, I love Italy, but I've never been to Tokyo. Maybe I love that more, I need to go try it.
For sure.
Try things. Anyway,
No, that's fine. I was gonna say,
so back to Star Wars.
Poison Pink Fluff in the chat was saying that she has a bunch of games and she can't play them because no one around her wants to play. And I was gonna say, if there's things that are on Tabletopia, Board Game Arena, we can play those games. Just let me know, when you want to play. We can schedule something, because the games need to be played.
I mean, I feel like the pandemic has made it so like easier that, and it just shows everyone there's so many avenues to play games when you're not in the same room with another person.
There are a lot.
So.
Yeah.
And also Carly, I keep saying that's, I'm calling her Carly because that's her name. But I do play a lot of solo games. So a lot of times I can't get my wife or kids to play something, so I play a lot of solo games. That's how I'll learn the game solo, and then I'll say, hey, will you all sit down and play this with me? But I have a familiarization with it. So
yeah,
same here.
I will hit you up. I will introduce you to, if you're not on BGA and stuff like that, I will definitely show you the ropes. Well, what I know. I mean, you probably know more than I do, but I'll show you the little bit that I know. And then lose.
Do you know Yukata? Do you know Yukata, Aaron?
I've played one game. I think I played Imhotep on Yukata one time, and I lost, but I had fun. So.
I mean, it's like BGA. It implements the rules, but it's a little bit harder to start a game. Get
the UI isn't quite as friendly as BGA, and BGA has its own little quirks about things. That's just like, I launched this game. There were 6 people I was talking to. Now it's just me. Like, what did I do wrong? So it's just so that's always the thing. I was just gonna mention. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Candice.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, have you guys ever played the Crew on BGA?
Yes,
I've not.
I played. Candice, me and Jackie and our friend Mark played all of the original Crew and all of Deep Sea.
Whoa!
On BGA,
awesome.
We went through everything.
In how many cities?
Say, like, yeah.
Well, okay, so I think it was like 6 to 10, where it was like 3 or 4 hour blocks, because we were just like, next mission. Wait, just one more mission.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. I was gonna say, like, the interface on BGA when you're trying to, like, we have friends who live in North Carolina, and I was like, this will be like a fun game. We're just doing a little video chat, catch up. I was like, this will be a cool game to teach them. And we had such a hard time with giving information in it. Like the interface is so, like, it asks you and you're like, okay, yes. But then it would like loop around, and we couldn't figure it out. So at some point we're just like, let's just say if we're going to communicate something, like.
Yeah, BGA needs you to do things in a certain order. So you have to click on this thing, then that thing. Even though in the game, like if it was a physical game, you could do it in any order you want. But BGA, and then it will yell at you when you do things wrong. It's like, big bold bladder, don't do that. You can't do that. And I'm like, okay, calm down.
All right.
I was just gonna mention one thing. This is completely off topic. KFC recently released a Beyond Chicken, and I love trying anything that is like a meat alternative. I mean, I still eat meat. I like meat, but I wanted to try it. So they have nuggets now you can get that are Beyond Meat. They're pretty good.
It's tofu based?
I don't know. It didn't
I think
taste
they base
like it. I guess.
So Matt used to work for Beyond Meat. Actually, he used to be a recruiter for them.
Oh.
But it's like pea, or at least their burgers use pea protein.
Oh.
Okay.
Pea pods or that type of thing?
Yeah, like
beet juice
pea
for
protein or something. Yep,
for the redness.
to make it look.
Yeah.
I like Impossible a lot more than Beyond.
That's interesting.
I feel like Impossible tastes so much more like meat than Beyond, but that it's it's relative.
I haven't tried either, so.
Oh, you should.
I think it's like, I think it's hit or miss sometimes if you go to a restaurant and have them too, because it depends on how they cook them. Because you can kind of like overcook them. Because my first impression of Impossible was like, I don't like these, But we were making a lot of Beyond Burgers here, so I don't know. It kind of depends. I like them both. And I always I'm not vegetarian. I used to be at some point, but I always prefer them over a regular burger, just because they you get the same enjoyment out of it, or at least I do, and I don't feel that
the heaviness.
I just have beef on my stomach, or even a turkey burger could be heavy sometimes.
Well, because it's turkey burger, you have to put so much other stuff on it because it's not that much flavor in it to begin with. Add the kitchen sink. Okay. So I don't know. They're pretty good though. But I will say you can get an Impossible Burger at Burger King, and they're pretty good. But if you go to a restaurant, it's a whole nother. It's like a different type of Impossible Burger. It's not the same.
Yep.
It's not the same at all. So
can
different
you
cut.
put cheese? You know how people put some cheese in the middle of their meat and then make burger patty that way? Can you do that with them?
You can buy the ground.
Because you can buy the ground meat for both of them.
Okay,
so you probably could try that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I was like, Beyond Chicken is pretty. It was pretty legit though. So I was like, okay. They cracked the code. That's the one. I mean,
cool.
Yeah, they have Beyond. Maybe Impossible has pork. One of them has pork too. I don't know how that tastes though. But.
That's interesting. So interesting.
All right, now that we talked all about food and stuff, are we ready to jump into I guess our board games of the year?
Top. Yeah.
Sure. It's not the games that came out in 2021. It's the games that we played in 2021.
Well, mine
some
are
of yours
games that came out in 2021.
I don't know. I didn't even check which games came out. Honestly.
Chess. That new hotness. Chess. I guess some things got shifted a bit.
Oh, I'm first.
You don't have to be if you don't want to be.
No, I'll be first.
Okay.
Was I supposed to keep the GameEnthus logo? I put my own logo.
No, it was only on the first sheet. It's fine.
Okay.
We're not that serious about branding.
Candice, do you have a brand? Speaking of branding, do you have a logo?
No, not really.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Not really.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm kind of a wild card like that.
You're chaos.
Yeah.
Everyone knows you, anyways. Everyone knows you.
Okay, are you ready for your number 10?
Everyone on this call knows me.
I would hope so.
Yeah. Yeah, so what is my number 10?
Number 10.
Hold on. Because this Twitch delay, maybe I should just look at my own screen here. Okay, there we go. Number 10, The Night Cage. Okay, so this is a game. Are you guys still there?
Yeah. Yep, we're still here.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, cool.
We got really still.
I know, it's freeze.
Focused. So this game is a cooperative game, kind of like Magic Maze. If you've ever played Magic Maze, where everybody is working together to. Oh, thank you. I'm seeing I'm seeing Twitch comments. Thanks, James. I appreciate that.
James just said Candice is the brand. She is just amazing. Agreed.
Oh, I appreciate
That's for the
that.
Podcast.
Thank you.
That's for the podcast. Yep.
Okay. So so it's basically a cooperative game where we're in a prison cell, and there are no lights, and all we have is a candle that we're like kind of going through, and it's a maze. It's also a maze that you have to kind of discover with these tiles as you're like lighting up places you're moving. But the minute you like move away from something that's not orthogonally adjacent to you, it disappears because your candle is only lighting like your direct surroundings. So you're trying to go through these tiles and reveal keys, and then each player has to get a key, and then once all players have a key, you have to find a gate, and then you can escape. So it's kind of like reminds me of Magic Maze, but it's like a scarier kind of themed version of that, and it's different. It's different too, but it's the same thing I like about it, where you're kind of solving this puzzle together.
And I think monsters come out and can get you. So if you like
Oh
light
yeah,
a monster up, you
yeah,
have to go hide before the monster like sees you on the path and wrap around, and yeah, it's really cool. I played it once with Jackie.
Thank you for adding that. Yeah, this was something I saw at Gen Con. I just saw the booth, and like the box cover looked interesting. And I was like, I'll sit down and do a demo of it. And I went in like with really low expectations. But as I was playing my demo game, I'm like, am I going to buy this right now? I'm like, no. Like, this tile draw is a little too random. No. Ooh, that's really interesting, though, because it creates all these different challenges. So anyway, I ended up walking out with a signed copy.
Nice.
So that is my number 10, The Night Cage.
I love cons that way, in that you can buy a copy, and then most of the time the designer's there, and you can just get it signed right away. So cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
I just love how a game sneaks up on you, where first you're like, and then you keep like, oh, you're like, I have to have this.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Amanda.
That means they did a great job with the demo too.
Yep. It was fun. And I mean, it didn't help that there were look at that logo. That there were a ton of people just lined up, and the copies were just going out like hotcakes. So there was definitely some like scarcity bias there, where I was like, ooh, like what is this thing that everybody's wanting to buy?
Yeah, for sure. There's
all
me.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, lowered expectations. Yeah, James. I mean, I think for anything, really, like, don't have too high of expectations, because the higher the expectations you have, the more likely you're gonna get disappointed. So I don't know. Yeah, so my number 10 is, these are all games I played in 2021, because I don't really look at when these are published, but like if it's kickstarted, then technically it's published at that time. Are we skipping? Okay. So my number 10 is Marrakech. I've only played it on BGA, but Board Game Arena, but the physical game has little rugs on it, and I have friends that have it, and I'm like, but I usually do not like mean games, and I usually don't like area control. But this game is so quick, so chaotic, that it is just like, I have fun with it all the time, because it's a really mean area control game where you're laying your rugs on top of other people's rugs. You're trying to push them to land on your rugs, because every half a rug piece that's in a area that's connected together, they have to give you $1 for. And it's really fun. All you do is you roll a die, I forgot which, because there's two methods. You could either change where the next person's going, like at the end of your turn or at the beginning of their turn. But anyways, so basically you're rolling a die, you're choosing a direction, you have to go that many spaces the die is telling you to do, and then if you land on someone else's rug, you have to count up the number of squares that rug is touching of their color, and then give them that many dollars or whatever the money is in this game. And then, but you're laying your rugs over other people's rugs to break up their area, or to make sure they land on your rugs, and it's like overlapping, and you're like, why didn't you go after that person has more money than me? And it's a blast. It's so much fun. Very, very quick chaos and a lot of yelling, and I don't know, it hit well for me for some reason.
Cool.
Oh yeah, Phantom Memes, that's a Psalm variant, right? Where you change the direction that the person's going at the end of your turn, and then they have to follow whatever you do.
Yeah, I haven't played
instead
Marrakech.
of they
Me
decide.
neither.
It looks like fun.
Sounds cool.
Love VGA. It's so chaotic and quick, and yeah, it's fun. Oh, Poison Pink Puff has the wooden box version. That's incredible. That's incredible.
The area control is kind of mean by default. Like, it's just, yeah, I'm taking over this. There's no really nice way of like, this is mine now. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. No, because it's gonna go, and then at the end of the game, any half squares of your rugs that are still showing gives you points as well. So it really is an area control game, and I just you know me, Candice. Like, it's not my favorite mechanic.
Yeah.
Neither is meanness, but that one for some reason hit. It's just fun.
Okay, and John, he could not make it today, but he did send over his list. So his number 10 is Brew from Pandasaurus Games. I'm not sure who the designer is. Area control, yes, it
area
is.
control.
Area control.
But it has worker placement.
It does.
Or dice
worker placement.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's good. It's a really good game. Asymmetric powers if you want to play it. You're trying to so there's multiple things. So the middle board is dice placement, worker placement.
Mm-hmm.
The top board is basically area control, but with like research.
Resource
management, because you're going to get resources to buy potions that help you do other stuff with your dice, and you're also going to be able to get pets or animals that
you can
help
train them and stuff.
You can train them. They give you special abilities or increase your point values at the like end game points and stuff. So it's an interesting mix of mechanics done very well, pretty streamlined. I'm able to teach it very easily. It's beautiful art, but it can be mean. You're literally burning down someone else's forests and then pushing
there's some
them
scorched
out
earth in that game.
Them.
It's like, well, I'm not going to win. Nobody's going to win.
I haven't tried it yet, but it sounds cool.
It's on Tabletopia if you want to try it.
Yeah, I demoed it. I forgot what event it was for Pandasaurus this fall.
Yeah, online.
So I played a bunch of it over a weekend, and then I had a chance to like teach it in person at a small local convention. So, because I had just come off I probably played it a month prior, and all the rules were very fresh. Mm-hmm. I was able to go through it. And Poison Pink Fluff says that her number one game, she said, was Secret Hitler, and then she said Betrayal at the House on the Hill is her number 2 game. And my number 10 is Tumbletown. This is a
we're not seeing it right now. Wait, maybe
there it is.
Okay, there we
go.
Okay.
Tumbletown from Witchcraft Games, designed by Kevin Russ. 1 to 4 players. It's like you're doing. Well, I mean, I guess you're drafting cards, but then there's some engine building where cards can unlock different abilities to allow you to earn more points. It's just a beautiful game. I love dice. Dice just get me almost every time. Oh, dice. And a whole bunch of them. And then when you actually make the buildings, you have another separate sheet, like a narrow sheet, and that becomes your town. So you take if building that building required, if you kind of look at the pictures there, required like 4 red, they're really brown, but like 4 brown dice, and then like a yellow. You take that formation and you move it over to your little town sheet, and you place it there, and the placement you put it in there can earn you even more points.
That's cool.
Oh, neat.
It also comes with a dice tower.
Try this game.
There's a dice tower inside the box too.
That's awesome.
Do you have to take apart the dice tower? Is what I'm.
No, it can fit in the box.
Okay, good.
Constructed.
Okay, then I'm happy with that.
It's a really good game. Like, I highly recommend it, and there's a really nice mat that you can get forward to. So.
Ooh.
I think I remember you playing this or posting about this
I probably was gushing over it because I love playing it.
Yeah.
It's a very, very fun game.
I definitely want to check that out. Kevin Russ has some really good games.
He does. Yeah, I almost put another one of his on here, but I couldn't put everything on here. You know how it is. All right, so number 9. Back over to you, Candice. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Hopefully it switches over for everybody quickly.
Well, let's see. Nope, there's my number 10. Hey, there we go. Okay. Oh, this one I forgot to shorten description.
Oh, that's fine.
But anyways, Imperium Classics and Imperium Legends, they're both standalones with different factions, but basically the same core game. This is a deck building, civilization building game, which is really cool because I don't know many deck builders that are also civilization building games. And each of these core boxes has, I don't know, maybe 8 or 10 different civilizations that you can play, and they're all asymmetric and they work differently based on the actual history, which is really cool. But yeah, it's a super really interesting design. And I love deck building games, and like anytime deck building games are doing something a little different. So yeah,
I want to try this. Which one would you recommend, like for someone who's never played this before?
Start with Imperium Classics, and I'm happy to play it with you sometime too.
Yeah,
because I have them both here. But yeah, start with Classics because those civilizations are a little easier to play. The rule book makes the game seem like it's a little harder than it is, so it's definitely one where, you know, there are lots of videos, instructional videos, where you can get a feel for it. There's some terminology to get used to, like, you know, when you put a card in your history, it goes like underneath. Yeah, there's some like new things to kind of get used to, but it's really quite smooth. It has a really cool solo system too, and I would not recommend playing it with more than 2 people unless everybody is experienced, and I don't think I would ever play it with 4. Just as an FYI, because there's a little bit of downtime when you start go beyond 2 players. And there's also some interaction, like, you know, like I think it was like maybe the Vikings or something. Like, it's really cool because if you play certain civilizations, they'll have more like attacking cards kind of thing, but it's not like anything too mean.
That it kind of sounds like, what's that game with it was Dice Settlers or something. There was another game where you had to turn in apples and you had cards on either side, and you're buying cards, and it's a cute art. I forgot what it's called.
I would not be surprised. I think Dice Settlers. I think Dice Settlers is that a David Turtsey game?
It's not Dice Settlers, but it's something Settlers. Because I played it and really kind of.
Wait a minute, is this the stone, the wood, the apples?
Yeah, apples. Yeah. With there. Cards on either side. Now he's gonna try and pull it.
And
Imperial Settlers Rolling Right. That's the one. I know you're probably thinking Imperial. I never played
Imperial Settlers.
Imperial Settlers, not the Rolling Right.
Oh, you said Dice Settlers. Okay.
No, it's Imperial Settlers.
I just have the Rolling Right. I don't have the original one.
Yeah, so I did not like the original Imperial Settlers, but this sounds like Imperial Settlers a little bit in that it's a little bit of an engine builder. You are, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, have you played Imperial Settlers?
No, I have not.
Okay.
So I can't. Wait. Yes, I have. I've played Empire of the North version, not the original.
Okay.
Yeah, I have played that. Yeah.
It sounds similar. That's like the mechanics and how it flows.
It's a bit different. Okay, and I was I saw there was James asked the question of whether I prefer it solo versus like multiplayer. And I would say I probably would prefer it 2 players, because I think like when it comes to playing games solo, I just have other games that I would prefer to play solo. And but I think it's really good solo, like if you're gonna buy it for that. So
okay, good to know.
Okay.
Good to know.
That's my number 9.
Number 9.
Okay, right. So my number 9 is Lost Ruins of Arnak. Hold on, someone's gonna walk by. Very loud music. So Lost Ruins of Arnak, you know, everyone kind of fell into the hotness, right? It's on BGA. I really love. I'm really excited for the expansion, which gives you asymmetric player boards, asymmetric powers, asymmetric decks, starting decks. and more diversity in the game, and I'm very, very excited. This is like Candice has said that she likes deck builders that has a twist. This is a very light deck builder with a twist of adding worker placement, but it's
Not enough
really
workers though.
not enough deck building either. But like, it's a very light worker
No, it's a
placement,
great game.
very
No, it's
light
a great
deck
game.
builder where you're basically trying to get your engine going to go up the track of the temple. But I really am interested to see how the asymmetricness of the expansions affects this, because I got a little sneak peek at PAX U of the expansion. Didn't get my hands on that expansion. I hope to get it
I asked, they told
sometime
me no.
because
Yeah, I think I heard it was good. I think I heard it was pretty good.
I did too.
I've only played Lost Ruins once,
Yeah.
and I think I walked away feeling lukewarm on it, to be honest.
yes.
I think like the components are really cool. I like the theme. I like the card market, like how those cards on the left, you know, it changes, it shifts the amount of the different types of cards in the card market. I thought that was really cool. But around the same time, I was playing Dune Imperium,
Yeah,
which is
same
also a
mechanics.
deck building worker placement game. And
Yeah.
I loved Dune Imperium so much that when I played this after, I was just like, like I was just kind of like lukewarm on it.
Well, it's funny because I played this the first time, I was lukewarm, and then the second time I got it, and I was like, okay, got it, you know. But like, I also played Dune Imperium at around the same time, and I'm like, it has a little bit of that take that, you know, and this one has less blocking because there's cards that could do things, and you're exploring, so you're opening up new worker placement spots. While Dune Imperium, it's really about, you know, the whole push and pull of the different tracks, and you know, it just feels different to me in terms of like how you feel when you're playing, or the strategy, the way you're thinking is a little bit different. Candice, do you remember there's a third game that was worker placement and deck building that came out at around the same time? Something to do with mammoths and winter.
That's what I was gonna say. Not like Stone Age, but
no,
I know what you're talking. Endless Winter or something.
I think so. It was just way too. I played it once, I think on TTS or something, but it was way too complicated. It was like you had to look at your board, and then you had the main board, and then you had to kind of keep an eye on other people's boards, and it was really cool because it had animals and stuff, and the worker placement mechanic was the twist on worker placement, but it was just so much. It was way too complicated for what I would think the game would be, which is probably why it's not really talked about as much. While Lost Ruins, Arnak, Dune Imperium is easier to get into. You know, you can feel the mechanics. If you know the two mechanics, it's very easy to learn.
I think the one thing I'll add, that probably one of the reasons I do prefer Dune Imperium, and I know that, you know, they're different, but if I was gonna have one, is because of the scoring system. Like it has that 10 points, like first person to 10 points, and the fact that the influence tracks, you can possibly lose a point. You know, combined with those, I forget what the secret cards are called.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about. But like that, just like every game I've played of it, I have like, it's tense. Like this one 3-player game I played, it was just like my heart was beating, like because of like I'm like, oh, what's gonna happen? And it's always like 95% of the games I played are really, really tight, where like anybody can win. So I think that's part of why it's, you know, I like that a lot more than. But I only played Lost Ruins once, so who knows?
I played it one time.
I would definitely play it again,
and that's it. And I own it. It keeps looking at me on my shelf like, why are you not playing me? Because I know it's good. I just haven't got it back to the table or to the table. It's punched, but
Candice, you need to try it with the expansion when it comes out. Maybe if I get my hands on it, we can play it together. But yeah, no, I think the expansion is going to totally twist it up. I feel like if you don't like, she's talking about the Dune Imperium, the scoring, but this Lost Ruins of Arnak scoring definitely feels more like what's the bird game? Wingspan. Because you only have a certain number of rounds, and you
Yeah.
you only have that certain number, like you have to get the most out of what is in your hand
The
and
rounds
get
how
shorter?
many actions you can.
Like
It
in
is shorter.
Wingspan?
It's shorter than Wingspan, but I feel like it has that still crunch of I need to make sure I get there before someone else so that I can do this, so that I can eventually go up this track
Gotcha.
and then get that thing before someone else, so that because there's parts of the track that the first ones to get there gets a special additional bonus, and it's
Yeah.
like it's that calculating of the things that you need to do all the things.
Look,
While
you're
I-
selling it. You're selling it. I'll play it again.
She said, I already ordered it.
I
It's
don't
good.
feel the calculations in Dune
No.
Imperium. I mean,
She said
Candice
no.
loves calculating games and strategy and stuff, but like Dune Imperium, I don't feel the whole calculating of my engine as much as I do in Lost Ruins. But Dune Imperium, it's also like, oh, you went there. I need spice. What am I gonna do? And then
Yeah.
I feel
It's
like
all
there's
about that
more
spice.
avenues.
You're
of-
playing the players.
You are. Don't
Like with the combat, like when do you put pieces in for combat?
How many do I put in?
How
If
many
go
do I
here,
put in?
could
Like,
put-
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyways, yeah.
Sorry, we're just going to.
No, not that. This is why we're here to
Yeah,
discuss.
for sure.
I need to play more of this game. It's yeah. All right. John's number 9 is Hallertau. Am I pronouncing it Hallertau? Hallertau? Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Hallertau.
Hallertau.
Yeah.
No idea.
I've not played this one, so I don't know if anybody else.
Neither am I.
Oh,
I've played it once. I'm not a big Uwe Rosenberg fan. I mean,
Candice.
I like the games,
I
but
thought I knew you. I don't know.
It's the farming theme kind of thing that is usually doesn't attract me.
Got it.
But I thought, like, I love these components.
Yeah.
I played it once and I was like, I would play it again, but I didn't walk away like feeling like I gotta own this and I want to play it right now, tomorrow.
I need
you
to
know?
tattoo this as Hallertau on it. Let's go.
Actually,
I didn't walk away like that. Yeah.
That's
looking
fair.
at the board, I'm like, okay, I've actually played this. I played this once in a hotel room.
It was
with
very memorable,
Anita
obviously.
and Monique.
Yeah.
I've never
And-
played it. Oh, I have played it.
And that's good. No, because I get it mixed up with this Roland right that also starts with an H. It's because I don't know what
Oh.
these words mean, so they're
Oh.
just like
Hadrian's
names,
Wall?
and I mix
There's
up
a
names
Hallertau
lot.
Roland, right?
No, there's another Roland right
Oh.
that has an H.
Hadrian's
has, like,
Wall.
Hadrian's Wall. That's what I always get.
I really
because
want that game, but I
Is that
I
a
wanna play it
2021
so much.
release? Because I should have had that on my list.
I have not played Hadrian's Wall. I really want to
I
play it.
want to play it. It's like pretty
So-
much like you're playing by yourself, even if you're playing with other people. So
Yeah.
I need to pick it up. Oh,
But-
Phantom Meeple said this is on my shelf on Played. Absolutely love a good heavy
I do love
Uwe
the
Boll
heavy.
game.
I like
I said Uwe Boll
Rosenberg
over
Raid. I
Rosenberg.
love the heaviness of it. This game is really. I mean, it
I
is
like the hub.
it's a heavy game, both physically and mind, because
Physically.
your house literally moves. Your house literally moves
Yeah.
across the board.
Like
to
most
hide
houses do.
Slides.
of it. Yeah, it slides, and then you're like, okay, I need to, put these tiles on there, and then I'm going to grow them. But
Yeah.
you need to do it in a certain order, and then it is a heavy Ewan Rosenberg. It is if you like his other games, you'll like this one. I'm over farming, that type of theme, but it's his signature. And I would totally play this again. I don't know if I would own it just because there's so many other versions of his games that
Yeah.
I feel like, but this is like, if you like his other games, you'll like this one. It has that same thinkiness. It has different mechanics, so your brain is going to mess up your first game. I'm just saying you need to rewire your brain a little bit just so that you can actually understand what you're
That
doing.
seems like a
on your
lot,
first
like a
game.
pretty big requirement, Amanda. I don't know if I'm able to.
No, you
I
take
think-
your other Ewan Rosenberg mechanics and then just rewire that part of your brain.
Okay, that I can do.
Yeah.
I
then it's
think
like-
from people that I know who got this and were excited about it, and like some people played it a lot.
Yeah.
One of the challenges was that like somebody like once they hit like a good score with that little those tracks at the top, I believe they're just like kind of like I beat the game, you know.
Yeah.
So
They like
I don't know.
min-maxed it. Sorta.
Try it out. I like La Havre a lot. I mean, I guess we shouldn't go down the rabbit hole since we should keep going through the list. But I also just picked up Glass Road.
I
know
want
that one.
Last Road so bad. I have played
Yeah.
it. I like it. It's like so changey, and that whole
And it's
mechanic of it's quick, and then you
It's
have
quick.
to like recalculate like how am I it's like one of the
Yeah.
games that's gonna be on my list later on. I won't spoil it, but you have because of the way
Oh,
of the
it's like one of the games.
circle
Yeah.
and you're the way, because if you get more of one thing, it changes the value of all of your other resources. And it's really cool.
It's cool.
It's so cool. Glassware is really good. I definitely need to get that in my collection, but it's gonna be hard to get.
They
to the
just
table.
reprinted it like
That's true.
in the past couple months or so.
Yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, and I definitely need to play Hallertau. I heard that the sheets are a little bit too small, so you might want to enlarge or print it out yourself. So yeah.
All right.
Oh, you're talking about Hadrian's Wall.
Hadrian's Wall. Yes,
I was like, you're not
Sorry,
printing
everyone.
anything on
like I said, those two games are kind of constantly get messed up in my brain.
Oh, no worries.
I mean,
Hadrian's Wall's on my list. I need to pick that game up. All right, my number 9 is Cascadia.
Oh,
tile placement.
Tumble Town.
No, it's
there it goes.
wait.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. No, say it. It's good. It's good. You say.
No,
it.
you're fine.
We will
You're
wait.
fine. It's just my delay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that. So yeah, Cascadia. I played it. When I played it for the first time, I was like, yeah, it's not the heaviest game, but it doesn't have to be. You're just trying to maximize. There's 5 different variations of the salmon, bear, fox, elk, and hawk cards. Different configurations. It's really fun solo. Really fun multiplayer. I mean, you wrap your head around it in like 5 minutes, but you only can play with what you're given. So it's a very fun game.
And plus, different player counts. You're going to take out certain tiles, so you won't see certain tiles. You're like, if you've played it too much, you're like, I need this tile, but you might not see it because you're going to take out some tiles and stuff. And I just taught this to my friends, and they really enjoy it. They're like, I need a copy of it now. And stuff.
Yeah, it's good. I liked it. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Barren Park too.
I haven't played Barren Park,
but how dare you, sir? No, I'm kidding. But like, I love Barren Park. I love Barren Park because you do got that polyomino tiles.
Yeah.
And yes, but at the same time, there's like expansions that move up. There's like the rails, monorails and stuff. It's just, and then both games are so pretty at the end because you're like, this is my little, my tableau that I have built, and it's so gorgeous. And
and there's also really those like achievements in the back of the rules which get pretty devious. And James says that was one of his top of the year as well. So
yes.
All right, that was my number 9. So all right, Candice, we're going over to your number 8.
Okay. My number 8 is Coffee Traders.
I haven't played this. I still want to play this.
I haven't played it either.
Coffee Traders is a heavier game, but not like too heavy. Yeah, and you're basically putting out these donkeys, and you're putting out different coffee plantations, and you have a whole thing where there's like an area majority scoring in these different regions. Let me see if I can see the picture of the board, where you have these area majority scoring in different regions, and you also have an area majority scoring on that left track on the left. And this game just kind of reminds me of something like viticulture, where in viticulture you're like, you're getting the grapes and you're going through the whole process of producing a wine. You're kind of doing the same thing here, but you're producing coffee and you're trading it, and then you're selling it to different markets. And there's a lot of cool stuff going on and things you have to manage in it. But I actually haven't played this in a while, but I played it probably like 4 times. And it's just like really solid, especially 4 or 5 players. I've never played it with 3, but I hear it's even good with 3. And it's a big game.
Does it come with a table?
Lots of components. You need a table with it. Lots of components, but it's Coffee Traders.
I definitely definitely need to play this.
I'd like to try. I don't own it. I've never. Yeah. It looks like a lot, but I like the look of it though.
Yeah, I like games that look like a lot.
Yeah, it does look like a lot, and there were a couple like bumpy things in the rule book, but you know, it's really not that hard. Like I don't know what the complexity level on BGG is saying right now, like now these days, but before I think it was like a 4 point something, and I was like
4.29
really?
right now. I just made
I
sure
think
it's on
that's
my want to
a
play
bit
list.
much.
okay.
Right.
I think that's it's not that complex. No, like there are like a lot of things going on, but like the other thing is not in the photo. You have this like really awesome player board that takes you through the phases of the game.
Oh, I love it when they do that.
It's really, really well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the components are like really top notch too.
Awesome.
And then you also have these like donkeys that you have to make different connections. Coffee Trader is cool.
And
I'm down to play
theme. There's
Yeah,
very little
it's a good
coffee
theme.
play themed. Yeah.
And these are the same two designers who made Wildcatters, which I have, and I haven't played it yet, but I really want to try that too.
I haven't heard of that one.
I haven't heard of that
What
one
is
either.
That one? Yeah.
Candice, you always introduce us to something. So.
I know. Oh, there it is, Wildcatters.
Yeah.
Check that out.
Right. And your number 8, Amanda.
My number 8 is Troy's Dice. Twa Dice? Twa Dice. So the reason why it's my number 8 is because me and Bookaners, aka John, who unfortunately could not be here, played this so much on board in East LA. We literally played through. So it's like a game, but then the designers through the pandemic had these challenges that they put up for free, and you could just like with your game play based on their rules and then see if you can beat the designer scores. And there's 3 of them, right? With 3 different scores. And it was so fun going week after week, playing each challenge, the next challenge and the next challenge and the next challenge. And the challenges change how the game feels, because like some says, you know, your gold is more valuable. Some it's like you're not going to ever see this color. It's just crazy cool the way that the designers did this and put it out. And I played like so many games because we played every single designer challenge, and then we played the base game, and it's quick so we can get 2 games in stream. And yeah, it's a really fun roll and write game. And it's cool because like you have to use certain dice, you have to spend, you know, some resources, but then you get resources, but then parts of the board is like, oh, you're either just going to get resources based on the die that has been rolled and placed, or you're going to get points for other sections of the board that you've actually activated. But at the exact same time, there's these black dice that destroys your board as you go along. So it's like, yeah, it literally destroys parts, you know, where you cannot, you know, activate that section anymore. And it's fun and quick, and I really enjoyed it.
I picked it up because I played it on one of the Board East LA live streams, but I haven't played my copy, and I don't really remember how to play it, so I need to learn it again. So
I've only played the original game, Twa.
Probably. Twa is totally different from Twa.
Yeah.
I did a Twa, you know, like strategy game with Jackie from Show Me How to Win. And that was crazy. We were like, oh, you know, like we were playing the game, but also kind of talking through our thought process and stuff. It's so much more complex than Twa Dice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Twa Dice is such a nice, it does give you that still like engine building, like this connects to that type of thing. But yeah, with the destruction of parts of your player sheet and stuff, it's crazy. It's really cool. I like it. I don't have a copy of it. I just played with John's while he on his board. But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I could have done that and bought something else. Then that's what are we doing?
Or you could send me your copy. You never know. Yeah,
I could do that. I need to learn how to play it first, though. All right, John's number 8 is. Everybody can see it.
Do you want to just talk about it?
Super Mega Lucky Box.
Oh, so good.
Yes.
Such
now
good.
You're gonna see this one again. Spoilers.
Oh.
So I'll talk about it once And then, but yeah, this is a really fun game. Like when I tell people who don't really play a lot of these games, I'm like, hey, it's like bingo. It's a flipping right. There's a deck. I'm gonna flip over a card, and you just cross off that number on one of your cards. If you happen to complete a row or a column, you either get a moon or you get a lightning bolt, and the lightning bolts let you change the value of the card that's flipped. And you get more points for every card that you complete earlier on in the game. It's worth less and less as the game goes on. It's it's something that I feel like it's for everybody, kind of like it's people who are hobbyists, casual, just play, just have fun. It's I don't know, and I love the Schoolhouse Rock art on it. You know, the very 70s, after school special kind of art it has going for it. So I don't know, it's a really fun game. Have you all played it?
Definitely with John.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Some people say it replaces silver and gold for them. I'm like, no. Silver and gold is totally different.
That's
because
different.
It's polynomial. You have to decide where things go. No, it's different for me too. But I like this for a quick, lot of player count. Very easy rule set to get into. And you do have some thinking moments. It's like, do I cross off this card or do I cross off on the other card? But if I can get these, and then you're always like, I need this number because then I can complete this row and column, and then I can cross off this number on this other card, which then completes this row and column, which then I can cross off this number here, which gives me a star, which then I can use on my next turn to do this and that. And it's
having one of those really good turns, you combo everything up is great. I'm sorry, go ahead, Candice.
I was just gonna say that reminds me of Ganchan Clever.
Yes.
Yes, I'm a fan of that as well.
I love Ganchan Clever. This is easier to get into.
This is much easier to understand.
For
I love the box cover.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a neat game. Oh, and James said in the chat, he said, Super Mega Lucky Box is why I gave my sister Rise of Augustus. It is fast.
Oh, interesting.
Fast and fun combos. Ooh. Yeah, those turns where you just check off so much and then finish a card or two cards.
Yeah. And then people are like waiting for you. Just like with any good engine builder. Yeah, for sure. It's very cool.
It's very fun. Yeah. And my number 8 is Floriferous. It'll pop up in just a second.
So good. So good.
Wow, it really is a couple of seconds. Floriferous, Pencil First Games, designed by Dr. Finn, Eduardo Baraf, and Clementine Kemperdu. Kemperdu. It's a very fun game. Basically, you have these, you're trying to like build, I guess you're building your own tableau of different flowers and things, and you have to pick up cards to score. So you're picking up a card to score beetles or butterflies or moths or a certain number of, certain colors. If you have all matching colors, all different colors. So you start off with no real way to score other than the cards on the top row, which means if in your tableau you have these two types of flowers or this type of flower and this type of insect, you can score. But outside of those communal cards, because they basically, when you score one, because it's 3 rounds, so if you score one up front, it's worth more points than it is in the subsequent rounds. So you want to get it done fast. But it's just fun. And solo is really fun because you go against the Crow AI, and the Crow will make you get rid of certain cards, which can completely jack you up.
Well, I mean, in the game, just other people's will take your card, because it's all open information.
Yep.
So you see when someone takes a bottom end game score, and you're like, oh, or like you need that one insect, but they might need that color. So you're like, do I get that now or later? There's also cards that are flipped down. So like, if you don't see anything you want, you might just go for that flip down card.
Yeah, you may as well.
And plus, which card you take is what order you're going to take for the next one. So you're thinking, if I take that one, which I might need, or if I take the end game scoring card, I'm going to be last on the taking of the next row or column, the next column. But I really need that other card. So maybe I'll take the face down card to go first on the next one, because that one will guarantee me a certain number of points. So it's just like, and the art is absolutely gorgeous.
It is.
I love that art.
Yeah. Watercolor.
And it's kind of
every flower is different.
I feel like a Whatnot cabinet Floriferous combo, like play both of those in any order. They're competitive, but they're relaxing at the same time.
Yeah.
So different games though. Whatnot Cabinet is more a tile placement game in your own little like cabinet board. Very fun game. Hey.
Hi, Quaid.
Quaid Rain. Nice Glad you're here. Nice to see you. Yeah, so that is my number 8. So we're going to go back over and go to Candice's.
Back to me.
Number 7.
Okay. My number 7 is Messina 1347. Now, I have only played this game once at BGGCon, but I walked away out of like all the games I played at BGGCon. I was like, this is the one I would have bought if it was available. It is a worker placement game, but it has, let me look at the picture.
Looks like Dinosaur
kind of
Island.
an interesting way. When your workers work, they're either going to be placed flat down, meaning they're inactive, or you pick them up to move them, and you have this tile layout for the main, that little central board out there. So when you're placing your workers and moving them around, you can only move one space away for free. Otherwise, if you need to move further, you have to spend money. But they're different tiles, so and different tiles come out as you progress through the game. But what you're trying to do is basically you're trying to avoid getting the Black Plague, and you're trying to get your family moving out. And then you have your own. Every player has their own player board where you also are able to get these special type of, they're not like workers you place for worker placement, but they activate things on your player board depending on where you place them. And then you can also, on the left side of your player board, put them up in that top box, and you can actually like put them to work. And then there are like rats that you have to avoid getting. But I think in our game, I don't think anybody ended up taking a rat. You also have this like track of different kind of like technology upgrades you can do, and you want to kind of go up on all tracks, but you can't. And they're all worth points. And then you can buy I think wagons and buildings, different things to kind of like build up your engine and generate points. But I found it was just like really smooth and kind of refreshing. I think we played a game in like an hour and a half. And it was like the last day of BGGCon when they were like closing the hot games room. So we had to wrap it up, but I maybe we got it done in 2 hours, but it was just like really good. Like I liked all the decisions of like moving your workers around and when to get this, when to not, yeah. So I think this was, it's just like felt really smooth. And I'll just say as a slash with this, I also played Arc Nova, but we did not finish Arc Nova. I really liked it, but I think for me, I have a lot of friends in my local gaming group that have been playing Arc Nova a lot, and like I think there's people love it, and I really dug it too. But this one just felt like a little more like elegant or something. Where Arc Nova, I'm like, there's so much iconography, crazy cards, lots going on. A little bit more could be like multiplayer solitaire sort of thing. Whereas this one had some like good interaction with the way you move around the board and everything. But I did like Arc Nova is not on my list, but mainly because we didn't finish the game. But I did like it.
Candice, so that's good to have that.
Thank you. But yeah, I don't know if either of you have played Messina 1347 yet.
I've not. It looks like a lot. It looks like fun.
Whenever there's a game with a year, I usually will not have played it unless Candice shows it to me.
You
or
avoid
Ben
it.
Yeah,
I don't avoid it.
It's not like a historical game or anything, really.
Yeah, but it's like
slightly.
Like someone else has to like introduce it to me for me to.
Yeah.
Play. Yeah.
I think if you like interesting worker placement games, this is definitely one to check out. And it's definitely like a medium weight game. It's not. It might be like medium plus, slight plus, but it's not like hard, even though it might look crazy.
It looks inviting though. It's very colorful.
Yeah.
It does look like fun.
Cool.
I totally would play it for sure.
Let's play it right now. You know what? Let's go. Let's make it happen.
Yeah. Set it up.
All right. Your number 7 is
my number 7 is the
The
crew,
crew.
like we said in the beginning. So it's both deep sea and the search for planet
So
9.
good.
Because it is like, yeah, I told you earlier in the beginning, me and Jackie, who played games with Candice before, and then our friend Mark played it on BGA, and like every time we're like, if it's just the three of us, it's like, should we crew it up? Because we're like, we played through the epilogue also of Deep Sea and Mission Deep Sea, and now we're going back and we've played through the original again, and now we're trying to play the epilogue of the original, but it's hard. It's just like, yeah, it's like,
Is it hard
you
to
know,
go
you
back
think
to the original after you play so much of the sequel?
the sequel seems easier. I mean, there are times when the sequel's tasks, you're calculating, you're like, nope, this will not work, because in BGA it literally has a button that says these tasks cannot be completed with and then you have to, like, they have to redeal the task. But we also don't play with the point system rules where it's like, oh, if you use the, distress signal, then you get less points, or if you use this, you get less points. We don't play like that. We just play to finish the mission and get that level sense of accomplishment that we worked together and we did it, and we threaded the needle, and we did it perfectly. It's just such a great feeling when you're like, this is so hard, but we actually did it.
We did it. We did it.
Exactly. So it's like, yeah, so we did all of the first game, we did all of the second game, we went through and did all of the first game again. Now we're kind of playing on the epilogues, and yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I'm just gonna say this is definitely an oversight, because I have the new crew too, the Mission Deep Sea. Is that what it's called? And I didn't even think about it, because I guess I didn't realize that was a 2021 release, but that probably definitely would have been on my list. I'm a big fan.
I still have scars.
Definitely 2021.
Introducing my family to the first one, and they were just no.
I think I prefer Mission Deep Sea, like with that card deck.
Yeah. I prefer the tasks in Mission Deep Sea versus the tasks in the original.
Playing on BGA seems like, do you take the shuffling out? That seems like the move to make. Yeah, you take the shuffling out. That seems all right.
You can still pass a card to each other. I don't like playing it silent, so we always have like a Zoom or another video chat open so we can yell at each other, like, why did you pass me that card? Or
no, you should look at each other for that kind of game.
Exactly.
Most definitely.
But yeah, so it's been a lot of fun. I mean, there has been yelling involved in, like, wait, hold on, why didn't you play this one? Wait, this is not what I mean by telling you this. It's almost like there is a metagame. You have to kind of play it with the same people, because you're going to be like, if I tell you this is my highest card, there is a reason for that, It's like all, it's like all those, was it trick-taking games?
Games,
yeah. You can't send in a replacement. Oh, I can't play them now. I'm going to send so-and-so to play for me. No. Hey, Blackboard Gaming. Dwayne's in the house. Hey, Dwayne.
Hi, Dwayne. Good to see you. Blackboard Gaming. So that is,
John's number 7 is Cascadia.
Oh! You might see it on my list, too.
Oh, well, it's a good game. So we talked about that one. I will jump
moving.
over to my number 7, Land versus Sea.
Oh, wait. Okay, so have you played the oh, this is not Land, Air, and Sea. This is Land versus Sea. Okay, that's gonna be different.
So people, I mean, I'm guilty of this too. I'm also projecting. Look at it and think, oh, Carcassonne. It's like, well, no. Like you get points for creating like, I guess contiguous bodies of water, land masses. But then there's more to it. Like if you look at the picture and you see a caravan on. Anytime you match up a caravan or a cargo ship, you get extra points for that. And little X's also give you bonus points. So, very fun game. Ooh. And it's interesting because there's just a 3-player mode where you're a cartographer. So the cartographer is trying to. They earn points on. I'm trying to remember. They earn points when. Well, at the end of the game, they get like bonus points if there's not an equal number of land, like I guess completed land and sea groups. They earn more points, but then they can use like waypoints. So they kind of pick up like the scraps sort of from the other players. But if they play smart enough, the other players don't necessarily have an inherent advantage. But it seems like they would. It's weird, but I mean, I don't think the 3 players are as strong as the 1v1 or the 4 players, basically teams. 2 teams land, 2 teams sea. I mean, 2 people. But I like it a lot. It's fun. It's just you just jump right in. It just kind of came out of nowhere. I really liked it. Anybody else play it?
Mm-mm.
I haven't, but I've heard good things. So
Yeah.
Dwayne likes it as well.
I'll have to check it out.
Ah.
So, Dwayne has good taste. Thank you, Dwayne. So that is my number 7, Land versus Sea. And
Nice.
we are going to Candice's number 6. Oh, I played this one the other day.
Oh,
Yes.
finally got one.
Yeah, I know. Right?
Finally got one.
It's
on
the
my
first
list, you
time.
guys know. Yeah, so my number 6 is Shamans. I just got it I just found out about it in like December and got it, and I've played it a couple times, and I really dig it. It's a trick-taking game with hidden roles. So everybody gets a role. You're either like a good person or a shadow. In a 5-player game, there are 2 shadows, but in a 4-player game, there's only 1. And it is a trick-taking game where it's not like a must-follow. So if I play, a red card, you don't have to follow with a red card. But if you don't, there's a little that board in the middle is going to click closer to like the game ending and the bad guys winning the game. So whenever you play off suit from whatever the lead suit is, that thing is going to tick down. So if you're the bad guy or bad guys, bad team, the shadows, you're going to want to do that, but you also don't want people to know you're the bad person, because there are different things that you'll unlock, and you'll be able to like kill other players. And if you're a good person and you kill a good person, that's bad, because that also takes the thing down. Yeah. But the other neat thing about it is, like, in a trick-taking game, usually it's like, whatever the highest card of the lead suit wins. But in this case, if you play whoever plays the lowest card in the lead suit, you get to get one of these tokens. And there's like a little stack of tokens that do cool stuff. Like, some of them give you points. Some of them give you a knife, so that if you activate the thing that lets you kill someone, you can. Which is always helpful, especially, depending on what side you're on. But then the person who plays the highest card of the trick, they win, so they'll lead the next one. But then they also get to place the cards out, and there are like columns for each different suit. And so when you just place them out, basically the only time something triggers is when all of the cards. So if you're playing where there are 6 of every card, the minute all 6 cards are played, the person who did that gets to trigger another cool special effect. Sometimes it's like getting a point. But
you can only trigger it if that was the suit that was like during that play of that suit, right? Is that how that works?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that's the only time you're doing it. Because if you play offsuit, you immediately like just put that card. Oh, no. Actually, like, if you play offsuit and close off a pocket, like a row of cards or a column of cards, that also will trigger it. It's anytime it's kind of completed. So sometimes you want to play offsuit to do that special thing. But the other neat thing is, even though they're hidden roles, you still play over rounds, and it's like the first person to 8 points triggers the end of the game. So you're going to switch your role potentially from round to round, from being like good guy or bad guy. And ultimately, like, you'll feel like you're on a team. Like, if I'm a good person, I'm on a team, but you still want to have the most points and like actually win the game.
I'm so interested. It's
so cool. Really, really cool.
Is it player elimination?
For that round, not for
yes, just for the round. Yeah, okay, you could kill someone, but also if you kill the right person, like if there's only one bad guy and you kill the bad guy, that ends the round.
So I have a short anecdote about this game.
Go for it.
It's very short. I got introduced to this game by Matt Hocker from Cool Games. He's the designer of Composition and Bittersweet. Mm-hmm. So I was at his house last week, before last, playing this game. And I was on the shadow team like 3 or 4 rounds in a row. Then I was on the shaman team.
Yeah.
So then, and I had been winning because I was playing offsuit like frequently
yeah.
because I was on the shadow
Yeah.
team. So then I had 3 or 4, So then I had to switch up. Like, oh yeah, okay, I'm the shaman now. So then I was playing. Everybody knew who I was a shadow on the other team anyway. So then the last round, okay, I had 6 because you win if you get 6, not 8 coins. I had 6 because you get 3 if your team wins.
Okay.
Oh, points. Yeah,
Yeah.
the point tokens. Yeah,
So
yeah.
the last round of the game,
You get 3 if you win on the bad team. You get 2 if you win and you're on the good team.
oh yeah, it is
okay.
kind of that is
Yeah.
interesting. They did it
Yeah.
that way. So the
Yeah.
last round of the game, I forgot what my role. I looked at it, and because I had been on the shadow team so much, I played. No, I was actually on the shaman team, but I forgot. So I played through the whole round, and then
Thinking you were a shadow.
thinking I was a
Yeah.
shadow, and it flipped over like, yeah, I'm a shaman. They're like, I was like, oh no, I'm a shadow, and won the game.
Oh, you won the game?
And people were just like, really, like really.
Wow. Wow.
I felt like
Yeah,
yes,
like-
that was on purpose. That was on purpose.
That's awesome. And one of the things that you trigger when you're like stacking the cards is switching roles with someone else.
Yes,
Oh.
or having to
Which is
reveal your
interesting.
role.
Yeah,
That's
that's one of those tokens that can force you to reveal your role. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff. If you like trick taking games and or hidden role games, you should definitely check this
It is
out.
good.
definitely
While
wanna
the
try
the
this.
rules are being read, I was kind of like, I don't know. But then when we played it, I was like, okay, it's fine. Because
Ooh,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
like, okay, this is trick taking with like 8 other things. Like,
Yeah.
what are we doing here? But it was fine. And then winning with like
Yeah.
being an idiot and then winning is even better. It was like, oh wait, I did win. I have 9 coins.
Only you, Aaron.
Only
you.
me, a special guy.
Yes.
All right, Amanda, your number 6 is
Is Red Cathedral.
Red Cathedral.
I don't know if it came. I don't think it came out this year. In 2020.
You are being judged silently by Candice and I.
I know. No. Like I just did whatever like I played, but I
That's fine.
love this game. I need a copy for myself, but it's such a cool game. Basically, you're literally building up this cathedral. There is area control though, Candice. I don't know. Have you played this one? Yeah.
I have not, and I've
I
heard
haven't
like
played it.
great things. I love how cute
So
the box
good.
is too, because the
Yeah,
box
the
is like
box
not
is-
that big.
It's a Devere game, right? But like
Yeah.
you are literally, it is area control because each of the columns or towers of the cathedral, you want to have the most points. So you want to even build that spot or add a decoration or a door or a topper, and you want to have the most on that that tower to get the most points. But the crazy thing is this circular board in the middle with dice, and basically you take a die from one part, you go the number of its pips, and then you push the die at the end of that like pip count. So if you take a number 2 die, you go 2 spaces along this circle, and then you activate that section, and so you get resources based on the number of die there times the number of resources that's on the board. And then you can also activate a card that's in that quarter of the board to do things that and add resources to your board, which help you construct the cathedral. But you're calculating because you're like, okay, that die needs to go this many spaces, then I can get this. But if someone else, I can see they need that resource, they're going to use that die to go this number of spaces, and then I go and take that die. Then I can get even more stuff. But then at the same time, you're like, I don't know if I should be planning that far ahead, because if you play more than 3 players, the board changes so much in that little circular mandala that like, okay, well, I can't tell until everyone's gone and changed the dice and stuff. So it's like it's a really cool game. It's beautiful. It does have dice, and every time you activate a section, you roll all the dice in that section, which means you can't calculate based on the die that's going to go there. You roll them all. Now they have different values. Now they're going to end up in different spaces. So yeah, it has a lot of stuff in that small box, which is why it's so heavy, James. But oh my gosh, it's so fun. It is on, I think, Tabletopia or TTS, one of the two. I played it online. I played it in person. It's such a good game. I think you'll like
That's
it
what
for
I
the
hear.
weight of it.
I think
the weight of
Dwayne
it,
should
you'll-
open up
Yeah.
his copy.
Yeah.
Said this is in shrink wrap.
You have it in shrink wrap? Oh my goodness. I wish
Play
we were
it,
closer.
play
Oh,
it.
and
Yeah.
Phantom Legal Joe has played it apparently. He says he loves the
Yes.
market dice mechanic. Okay.
Yes. Yes, that market dice it's crazy.
Yeah, I've been wanting to play this one. It's just one of those things where there's so many games that come out
Yeah.
in so little time. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I will play it at some point. I
Yeah.
think it sounds
The
right up
View
my
has
alley.
been putting out a lot of good games lately.
Yeah.
You know, Castle Party, I think, is the roll and write, polyomino
Yep,
roll and write.
yep.
That's pretty fun. Yeah.
Haven't played that either. Another one for the list. All right, and
What about John?
John's number 6 is Whirling Witchcraft. I have played
Yeah.
this. I played this at PAX U. This is a fun game. It's an engine building game where you are trying to get cards to make your opponent's cauldron overflow. So you're trying to have an excess of components that will overflow into your opponent. I think that's how it plays, right? Yeah.
Sounds like Quaxy a little bit. But yeah, I saw this at I saw a demo of this at Gen Con. It
It's
sounded
not
cool.
like it sounds like classic, but it doesn't feel at all because you have your own engine building, and your engine building's based not only on your stuff, it's based on the
Yeah.
person right before you's engine, because their
Yeah.
engine is producing certain cubes that's going to
That's
get
cool.
overflow and then get pushed to you. So then your engine is trying to mitigate that while doing your own thing, while trying to mess up the next person that's getting the overflow to them. So it's a really
Sounds
cool
cool.
thing. Plus, you only get certain cards, and then you pass the cards to each other. So you have this hand of cards. You're like, I want both of these cards, but you can only get one, and then it's passing to the next person, and you're like, but that would help them too much, or that would mess me up too much, and then you get it back, and yeah, and the component's nice because you literally build up 3D little cauldrons, and
it's
fit in a
nice.
box already built up, and yeah, it's a
Cool.
really good game. Yeah.
I was watching Mick and Starla OFPG, and I agree with Starla. I think Starla made the comment that she just wishes there was a mechanic where you always go to the right. And she's
Yeah.
thinking, like, is there a way or some mechanic where you can switch directions because you're always attacking the one person and being attacked by one person.
Yeah.
So
But the thing is that
House rule?
well,
Yeah,
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 I mean,
yeah.
you could do that.
maybe
The only thing
alternate
is
or something.
Yeah.
You just can't do that with your hand of cards because that means you're just seeing the same cards over and over
That's
and over
true.
again. You could do that with like where the cauldrons go, but then that's going to totally mess up any strategy you had. And it's like, at what point do you do it? Because I've been playtesting for AG. It's hard with that because it's like you can't do it with the cards. If you do it with the cauldrons, then your strategy has to be constant in flux, and you don't get that many cards to build off of. So it's hard to do that unless it's a longer game. If you have a longer game, then you could say in the middle of the game, switch directions, and then maybe discard all the cards and draw new ones.
Maybe
But
just
it's
add
such
a
a
musical
quick,
chairs
snappy
element
game.
to it. There you go.
Huh?
Just add a musical chairs element to it. You just get up and
Or you leave your spot and go
Yes.
to someone else and have to deal with whatever engine
Yep.
they built. That would be a cool house full. I would try that.
I'm not sure how that would work, but and Quaid Rain says you flip a token to determine the turn direction, so it might or might not change.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could definitely house rules that. All right, my number 6 is Enchanted Plumes.
Nice.
Did
I
that
like
come out
one,
this
yeah.
year? BGG said it came out
There
in
it is.
2021. I said this year,
I
but
think
2021.
so, yeah.
Ooh, that looks pretty.
It's a fun game. Basically,
It is a fun
you
game.
are drafting cards, and you can either like take 2 cards on top of the deck. You can swap 2 cards out from your hand with some cards, 5 cards that are laid out face up, or you can do one of each. And you're trying to build peacocks to earn points. The only problem is the peacocks, the first row of feather cards are all negative points.
Yes.
So you want to have really low numbers at the top and then have higher numbers as you go down. But also, any subsequent row of feather cards has to be comprised of can only be comprised of colors of the row that was above it. So if you have green, purple, orange in a top row, you can't start off a second row with blue because it was not in the top row.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So it's
Never seen this one.
it's really fun. it looks really pretty, and it sort of belies like some of the AP might have in it.
Oh
But
my
it's
so many games in 2021 look so pretty, but they're either like really strategic or really mean. And I'm like, that is a interesting year for really great eye-catching games. But then it's like, I'm gonna smack you, I'm gonna burn everything down, or I'm gonna, or like you're gonna think your brain and you're gonna have good. But it's such a cute game. I mean, come on,
Yeah.
It is a really fun. And then the designer made a solo mode.
Oh, cool.
Which it's tough. Like it's fun, but it's really tough. I have a video up on my YouTube channel attempting to play it well.
Nice.
So that's Enchanted Plumes. Very fun game.
Cool.
All right.
And then Candice, right?
Candice, your number 5 is?
My number 5 is
Brotherhood and Unity.
Brotherhood and Unity. Okay, so this is the only game on my list that's technically a 2020 release. But you know how things are these days when you get games late.
There's rules, Candice. Come on. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, so Brotherhood and Unity is a card-driven war game on the Bosnian War from like 92 to 95. Mm-hmm. And I played this when I went to GMT's Warehouse Weekend convention that they do.
Cool. Uh-huh.
And yeah, it was really awesome. I'm also partially biased just by the experience. And like, this was the first game I played when we were there with my friend Hector and also Matt. And first game played at GMT Games Weekend is not a GMT game. Whoops. But yeah, but it's just really cool. Amanda, you'll love it. It's area control. but there's area majority, like it's area control scoring. But the really neat thing about it is it's mainly supposed to be played as a 3-player game. And it's a really good 3-player game in that everybody kind of starts on the board. Like a lot of like war games or area control games, you're either building things out on the board and gradually like, confronting each other. But this game, the way it starts off, it's like you're confronted. You're like, you have different factions are all like commingled different places. You have to constantly like reassess like, oh, I wouldn't do that here because look what that person's going to do. That like when you're playing a 3-player game, I love like good 3-player games where there's that dynamic of like, hey, 2 of us are going to like try to like take care of this. But meanwhile, the other 2 now are going to focus on you. And I think it's just like really well done. I ended up winning this game at some point, like towards the end of the game. Oh, and by the way, if you're not familiar with card-driven war games, it's basically when you have a hand of cards that you're using to take actions. And, typically the cards will have an event on them or a certain value of like ops points that you can use to take other actions. So you're kind of deciding like, do I use the event or do I use the ops value to do something else like move or like attack or whatever. But the cool thing with this is there's some card-driven war games where you have a common deck of cards that everybody's drawing from. Oh. This one, each side has their own deck of cards and it has like events that are tied to the history, and there's certain cards that come out later in the game that aren't available to you till later because it's all like chronologically happening. But the scoring is such that there are these key territories that certain factions need to have control over. And what we failed to realize, even though I went over the scoring a couple rounds before we were going to end, just so we all knew, like you get negative points if you don't control key spaces that you're supposed to. So I think I ended up winning the game with like a score of like 3 points or something. Like everybody was negative.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was just like it was a game where we played it. And Matt's not even like a big like war gamer or anything. My friend Hector is like we definitely like play war games and such. But Matt enjoyed it. Like it wasn't too complex or anything where he didn't like. Yeah, we all enjoyed it, and we kind of wanted to play it immediately after. We were like, all right, now we got it down. Like, let's play it again. Cool. So anyway, I really enjoyed it, and I've been ever since I played it, been looking forward to playing it more. So
did you win that second
Brotherhood
game?
And Unity. Huh?
Did you win that second game?
No, we didn't end up playing it a second time.
Okay. You said you wanted
but
to.
I would have.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
Who would believe anything else? All right. Amanda, your
Then
number
on me
5
is
is
Isle of Cats,
Isle of
right?
Cats.
Yes. Oh, wait, okay. So I had to talk about this because during the pandemic, the designers made a kind of like a remote edition. So it's kind of like a roll and write or a flip and write game. And I played that so much early on. And this game is so good. It's a polyomino game with cats. And basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to rescue cats off this island, but you have a hand of cards. And I love that this game has so many different modes. Like you can do a family mode where you don't have the drafting and you don't have to pay for fish. You can do the standard mode where you have a hand of cards. You have to choose which ones you want to keep, but the ones you have to keep, you have to pay with fish to keep them, but also you need fish to go and lure the cats to pay for them to come into your trap of a basket to go onto your boat. And then you have, different public and private objectives where you're trying to get certain cats in certain spaces, but then you also need to get cats of the same color touching each other so that they can be a family. There's rats on boats, and then there's one
Gotta have
side of the boat
rats.
that's yeah, and there's one side of the boat that everyone's the same, but there's the other side of the board where everyone has a different boat with different placement of rats and uh was it maps and stuff. And oh my gosh, it's such a good game. And the remote edition just came out on Kickstarter, and it was so good. I really really enjoyed this game. There's so many levels to it. I think it's coming out on BGA. You can play it on Sovereignty right now.
It is on
But yeah,
Sovereignty. That is
it's
true.
so great. It's so great.
All
Oh,
right.
you
I
and
played it
me,
once
I think.
and dig it too.
Yeah. Wait. Oh, you only played it once. Oh,
I've
I
only
haven't
played it
played it
once.
at all. I want to.
Yeah.
I have not.
But I think me and you, Aaron, we have it planned that you're gonna play it on my stream in February on the
Yes.
Sovereignty app. Yeah. So good. So good.
That is happening.
Yeah. If Candice wasn't working so hard, I would be like, you should come, but it's during work.
Maybe my cat will show up. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I've never seen your cat, sir.
Oh, he's around.
Yeah, it's such a good game. So many components, really gorgeous. There's cat meeples, and if you like polyomino games, you definitely should check this one out.
All right. And John's number 5 is Horrified American Monsters. I've only played I'm pretty sure, I think the mechanics are pretty much the same, but I played the original Horrified. I'm not sure how much changes. It's a co-op game. You're trying to rescue civilians and gather up certain items in order to defeat the monsters that are on the board. And of course, the monsters take turns and can make things worse for you. It's fun. I like if you like co-op
It is fun.
games, you probably dig
And
it.
the theme is if you like monster movies, you get your classic monsters and stuff, and it's co-op, so you're constantly talking. Oh, if I go there, you can go there afterwards and stuff like that and stuff. So, yeah, so it's a fun game. And the theme is basically up John's alley, who loves all scary movies. So
Yes, John is
Cool.
a big horror fan.
Horror booth, yeah.
So John has good taste. Oh, and James said he has both versions. I'm just curious. You just really, I guess the American Monsters really appeal to you.
It's different monsters, isn't it though?
Okay,
Yeah, new
okay. He said
Oh,
new
new
puzzles.
puzzles.
Okay, yeah, that okay. I didn't know how much of it had changed in the original one. I wonder if
So
they're
what
working on a
about you?
licensed one to have like, I don't know, Leatherface, Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers, Pinhead. I don't know.
I will never play that one because those movies give me nightmares.
Ah,
All right, and my number 5 is, I think this came out last year, but I don't know anymore. Cubitos.
Oh yeah.
What's that?
Yes.
What's that last year?
was that last year?
I'll check BGG. But I love this game too. I agree. It's honorable mention for me, but
Yeah. So Cubitos is I guess a bag building.
it is last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job.
So it's a racing game. Thank you. It's a racing game. I think it comes with like 4 different tracks.
Yeah.
And you were trying
no,
to. Is it
more?
Is it
No,
4?
4. You're right. 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dwayne. Dwayne confirmed it as well. 2021. Thank you all. I wasn't sure. Yeah. So this is a racing game where you're doing bag building with all these different dice, and they have different abilities. It's just fun. It is just I don't know. I like dice. It's very colorful.
Push your luck.
It definitely push your
Yes.
luck because if you roll a certain number of what are the icons?
Blink if you.
Yes.
Well, certain
Oh, they're the
blinks.
blank sides. Yeah, then you bust, essentially. But then sometimes you might strategically want to bust because there's a separate track that you can move down on to earn other perks for busting. So very,
Stay
very
in
fun
track.
game.
Yeah,
I don't know how
it's so
John
good.
DeClaire does this. He just keeps... I don't...
But now
There's
bangers.
so
Yes.
many, yeah. And there's I mean, Rolling Realms. Wait, Rolling Heights. I think Rolling Heights
Yeah,
is coming
Yes.
out
that's
next.
the new one.
Rolling
That's the new
Meeples.
one. Oh my gosh, he's still. There's another game that's in the works that I'm playtesting that I'm really enjoying as well. He's like Tate. He just has so many
Yeah.
ideas and
I don't know
Cool
how they do it.
ideas.
yes.
I don't know.
Sure.
And Carly said in chat, she said there are 3 versions of Horrified. Okay, I don't even know what the third one is.
Wow.
Yeah.
So-
Echoes from John DeClaire.
Oh, yeah, Echoes. And what's the pirate one that he put out, too? Is that
Dead
his-
Reckoning.
Yes,
No,
that's
it
it.
hasn't. It has.
Yeah.
I backed it, and it's not out yet.
Okay.
Yeah,
How does he keep doing this?
I don't know. Yeah,
Wow.
he's crazy. He's crazy cool.
He's good. He's good.
All right. And your number 4, Candice.
Okay, my number 4 is
Atlantic Chase.
Atlantic Chase.
Ooh.
This is a GMT game. This is a game. So my friend Hector that I was saying I played Brotherhood and Unity with. We enable each other a lot, especially when it comes to war games. But he kind of mentioned it to me, and then I just, you start seeing people talking about it a little bit, and I was like, what is this? I gotta check this out. But it's basically a World War II kind of nautical game, and you're putting out these trajectories because you don't know exactly where each other's ships are, but you're using these trajectories to show, because I guess back in the day you couldn't always you don't know exactly where someone is. Oh, that American ship left from this port here, and they're going here, but you don't know where they are in the ocean, and so you're using these little wooden sticks to build a trajectory of where you potentially are. So this game can be played solo or 2 players, and it has a bunch of different scenarios. I haven't played it all that much, but from solo play, awesome. I played a partial 2-player game, and that was really cool. But this game just fascinates me because it's just so different. I've never seen a game where you don't know where someone is, kind of in the way that it's implemented. It's really innovative and interesting, and I can't wait to play more scenarios of it because I don't know. I think it's such a cool design. I love the way the rule book has a whole tutorial that you walk through to kind of gradually learn the mechanics, and there's nothing all that crazy. It's challenging, but the way they work you through the tutorial is really awesome. So this is something I haven't played a ton, but I really think it's cool, and I cannot wait to play more. So that's Atlantic Chase. I'm assuming you guys haven't played it.
I played it. There was a question in the chat though from James. He said Hollenspiel had a World War
A
One
boat one.
boat one.
Is this battleship where you're trying to assess out where the other person is?
Yeah, well, you're trying to
J7.
suss out so that you can attack them and beat them, sort of thing. I actually have never played Battleship, but I don't know what the Hollenspiel game is.
Wow.
That's a boat game offhand. I certainly haven't played it.
Interesting.
You might be the only person in the world who has played Atlantic Chase who has not played Battleship. It's
Oh, yeah, the original.
that's very
the old
unique.
game Battleship.
That needs to. We need to recognize that.
Don't quote me. I might have we didn't have it in my house growing up, but I don't.
Did
think
you
I've
ever
ever
walk
played
by
it.
anybody playing it before?
Yeah,
That's
where
close
there's
enough.
a wall.
That's fine.
Yeah, there's a wall, and you're.
Did you
sinking
watch The Falcon
Battleship.
and Winter Soldier on Disney Plus? Close enough.
No.
It's in there. It's close enough. It's good. You basically played it.
I still have never played Risk either,
I played it once.
which
I
people
really-
always think it's crazy.
Yeah.
No,
But
I've only played it
Risk
for the kind of
seems
games
like-
that I like, people are always surprised when I'm like, nope, never played
There
Risk.
should be like a
because you like
Candice
war
version of
games.
Risk. I mean, like I'm sorry, it seems like your type of game. Like,
I'm gonna
Yeah,
do it at some
exactly.
point.
wow, okay.
Yeah, I'm surprised because it's like your type of game. So I'm
Right,
surprised
right.
that yeah.
There might be a Candice edition that you don't even know about. They made one. Like,
I would love that.
all right, Quaid Rain says that
Yes.
Risk Legacy is better. So there you go. I don't know.
I think
Okay.
it's just Risk. Sometimes it's too hard to get into. It's a little bit. It's like big game. It takes a while. It takes like a long time. And I think like the other games that you play, Candice takes less time. It's
Yeah.
quicker, to get into and stuff like that. So I don't know.
Well, I'd be lying if I said that when I saw the image of Atlantic Chase, I immediately thought of the previous game you had. Like, is that the same picture? It's different, obviously. This is over the water, and that was in Bosnia.
Yeah.
But at first, I was like,
yeah, that
is
was
that
more
the
of
same
a
picture?
map.
I was like,
Yeah,
wait a
different.
minute. All right, Quaid Rain says he's never played Standard Clue or Seven Wonders. Well, okay.
I
Candice, have you
heard
played
of
Clue?
Seven Wonders.
I've played Clue.
Yeah.
I have played
That's
Clue.
interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Clue.
I think I've only played Seven Wonders once, but I played Seven Wonders Duel a bunch.
You should
Okay.
try
I love
Architects.
Seven
I
Wonders
love Architects.
I hear good things about that
I don't
one.
like Seven Wonders base game, but Architects is better for me.
Growing up, we had the Clue VCR game, and we tried to play it.
Oh, wow.
We tried to play it, and my parents were like, "I don't know what this is." So I think we like gave up on it and just watched it.
VCR game.
I think we just watched the
Crazy.
movie Clue or something.
Oh my god.
Oh, I
That's
remember that movie.
We enjoyed that movie. All right,
Okay.
Atlantic Chase.
Yeah. And then my number was 4, right?
Number
It's
4
already been
is
said. It's
Cascadia.
It's 3 out of the 4 4 lists. I don't think
Repeat.
it's gonna be on Candice's list.
She might surprise us.
No,
She might have Risk as her.
Yeah, you never
She's
know.
lying.
You never know.
Candice, you might be playing Battleship like right now. Like, it's my number 1.
I'm playing on
changing
my
everything.
Yes, exactly. No, we've already talked about how great Cascadia is.
Yes, we have.
Yes, we're gonna move on to John's
number 4, The Initiative. Never played it.
Ooh.
I know nothing about it.
Oh, I have heard of this.
Anybody know about this one?
No.
I've never played it. I think it's a deduction game, right?
Mhm.
I think you're trying to unravel the secret of the key, and it's
Yeah.
set in 1994. That's
I-
all I know
Wow.
about it.
I think you're right. But it's interesting. It says it's for 1 to 4 players, so I guess you can
Wow.
figure this out by
Solo.
yourself.
Probably.
Cool.
I wonder if John
yeah.
has done that.
What about you?
All right, my number 4 is, if I can click on it, Subastral.
Oh, that's the one you taught me at PAX Unplugged, right?
Yes, actually, the picture on screen is when I was playing Subastral with Dwayne,
Oh.
a friend of his, Tim from Meepleville, and a guy from I forgot his name, from Bezier Games. We were at that meetup that the charity that Chris had
Yes, the charity board gamer.
in the Czech Games room. We were playing it. So anyway, Subastral is a tableau building game where if you see, basically there's 6 different cloud cards, and you're trying to build cards out, different cards from left to right. And if you see cards you want, you can only put them in your hand if you place a card down that is, I believe, higher than. So if I place a card on cloud card number 3, like if I have a 3 and put it on 3, then anything that's less than 3, I can take those cards and put them into my hand.
You choose one of the piles of cards that
Yeah.
are on card number 1 or card number 2.
And take them all. Anything that's higher than the cloud card that I put on, I can put those cards into my tableau. So so if you see something you want, you're probably not going to get it. So you have to figure out, like, how can I complete these mixed sets and build them out to earn points. Oh, I forgot to mention, James, thank you. It was designed by Matt Riddle and Ben Pinchback.
Yes.
I think Renegade published it. Very fun game.
Yeah, and
Oh.
the tableau's unique
Yeah.
in that you're going to score like from left to right. So, but you want to get multiple sets. So you get score for, like, if your longest one is like 5, but then you have 3, sets of 3 cards, then that's fine. But if it starts left to right, so you always need to have on the second row, you need that leftmost card.
Yep.
to start the scoring process. And if you skip a card in your tableau, then you don't get to score all of the other cards that are in that row. So the top row is very important in the order that you do it, but you're not going to see which card is the most. I mean, there's like a little table that tells you which card is the most, which card is the less, but you don't want to like compete with someone for that first card because you need it for every subsequent row you get. And then like the 1s and 6 like wraps around, so you can choose to do, you know, and it's really cool. But it's thinking in that I only have this many cards and they only have this certain numbers. So if I place this down, I can get cards that help me later on get the cards I need on the higher end of the scale. So I have like 2s and 3s, but at the same time I have to place it on the 2 and 3, and it's just like, you know, it's such a nice game. We had to play it like 2 times, I think, to really get a handle.
Wrap your head.
Yeah. It's not difficult, but like once you get it, you're like, okay, I'm good. Very fun
but
game.
it's interesting way of thinking.
And you're collecting, the cards are biomes, so you're collecting different biomes.
Beautiful art.
Yes, Beth Sobel. So
that's the war. Yeah. So what about you, Candice? Your next one?
You're number 3, Candice.
My number 3, I believe, it's not on the screen yet for me, but I believe is Dominant Species Marine.
Oh,
there we go. Yeah.
I want to try Dominant Species for sure.
It's got area majority scoring, but so in Dominant Species Marine, you know, this is a slight like re-implementation of the original Dominant Species, but now we're playing aquatic species. And there were a lot of things done for this game to kind of streamline a little bit, and it's different. So I'm definitely going to keep both in my collection. But it is a worker placement game with area majority scoring on the board. So on the right side of the game board, you are placing these little cylinders, your little workers, on various spaces. And whenever you place it, the next one you place either has to be to the right or below in a different space. Like basically, if you went on your very first placement and put it on the bottom worker space, you then have to then take an action to retrieve your worker pawns because you can't place above where you already placed. And there are things that'll break that rule. But then you have these little species cubes out there, and each species can like survive in different elements. So there are also these little elements on different types of like landscape tiles. And each type of landscape tile scores differently whenever scoring is triggered and at the end of the game. Like it might be something like the most cubes gets 6 points, second most gets 4 points, third most gets 2 points. But and any ties are broken in food chain order, which is also on the right under the logo for the game name on the board. And then you have these like different event cards that you can trigger, that you can pick up, but you're going to be like kind of expanding the ocean with different tiles, moving your species around, putting more species out onto the board. And also it can be kind of a mean game because there are some events where you can kind of like kill other people's species. And also, again, you have to make sure your species can survive, so you can do things to collect different elements to say, okay, now, you know, my fish can survive on this type of thing. So it's basically worker placement with area majority scoring, but it's like really done in an interesting way. And then there's also this concept of having dominance. And when you have dominance on for a certain element, you get a special worker pawn. And you could have dominance on multiple. So you have extra workers to place, and they can be placed on special spaces that do the action like a little better than the normal worker placement spaces. So it's I know, Amanda, I think you would like it. I know it's not like the area majority scoring is not your thing, and I have a friend who gets triggered every time I say a GMT game, but this is a GMT game, and it is not a historical war game, but it's kind of a war game of the species.
I'm interested in that worker placement where you have to do it from top to bottom and left to right, and then you sometimes want to go lower, but then, you know, I'm interested. I'm totally interested. I would totally play with you.
There are things you're going to want to kind of like jump to, but it's like, well, if I jump too soon, am I going to get stuck and have to retrieve? Like, so you're timing out where you're placing the pawns. The old version or the original version of Dominant Species, everybody places their pawns, then you execute all the actions from top to bottom. And that required even more like planning and thinking, because you have to say like, oh, am I going to have this? You know, I need to make sure I have this before I do this. And so I think like a lot of the changes they made certainly like sped up the game. But yeah, I really like it.
James said
thank
that,
you so much for Poison Pink Puff gave 5 gift stars. Ooh.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
James said that rest in peace to Chad Jensen. Kia, his wife, helped finish the game based on his notes.
Yeah.
Oh, Kai, sorry.
Her name is Kai. Yeah. And actually, I met Kai at the GMT warehouse weekend. She's super cool. But yeah, she like worked on everything with him, like developing games, and even games that are still kind of coming out that he started the designs on. So
wow,
that's cool.
But yes, RIP for sure.
Yeah. We want to do quick.
Oh, and James also said that this was Amy from Thinker Themers, her best game of the year. So
yeah, that's cool.
Oh, cool! I didn't know that.
I know Candice has to go in about 5 minutes, so
okay.
Yeah.
Did I miss that?
If Candice has to go,
if we could just, it's not a hard 5 minutes, but yeah, let's
speed it up.
Speed it up a bit. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Let's zip through.
My next one is Three Sisters. Now this is a roll and write game. It hasn't been fulfilled. It's slowly being fulfilled right now. But oh my gosh, I think Aaron, you're the one who introduced this to me.
I do get all the credit. He had
like a print and play version. I fell so hard for this game. This game is like one of those roll and write games, but it has like there's a little board and you only can do certain types of actions, but then there's so much comboing, and I love this theme where it's Three Sisters basically is pumpkins, beans, and
corn,
because when they're grown together, they symbiotically help each other, and you're literally like going from bottom up where you're growing corn, or you're putting your beans in. It's just so cool. It's so good. I played it multiple times online with the print and play. I played it solo. I played it multiplayer. It's such a good comboing game. It's from the people who did Fleet Dice, the dice game, and I know I've played that, but this just it just felt better. It felt cleaner. It's like I'm so excited to get the physical game in my hands, and yeah,
awesome. It comes in Tuesday. Yes,
I know, right? I'm so excited.
I'm sorry to go back, but Phantom Meeple Joe did have a question. He said he has the original Dominant Species, but he hasn't played it yet. Does the new one offer? Does it differ?
Yeah, it does, in that, again, like the way you take action. So in the new version, you place your worker out and you immediately take that action. Whereas in the old version, everybody places all of their pawns and then you execute them from top to bottom. So that's one big change. The core essence of the game is pretty similar. But that I'm trying to think what else was done to like streamline, but that was like a big thing, kind of like the way you take your actions. So I think that was the biggest change. Also, this one doesn't play to 6 players. It only plays 4 players. It's just it's a little bit shorter too.
Okay.
Well, I think it's significantly shorter to play. Faster. Okay.
John's number 3 is Unfathomable. I have not played this one. I can't really speak to this one, but
I have it sitting right over there.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna play it soon.
Good.
Yeah. I played it with John and Sir Bearsworth, and a couple of other people. It was fun. I mean, if you played what is the one?
Battlestar
Galactica. This is going to be a thinner. I mean, not a thinner. It's going to be a more streamlined version. A lot of people don't like the theme of this, but I felt like it was easy to get into. It was easy to understand. It was easy to understand what the traders were trying to do. It was easier to understand. So we found one of the traders right away, but we didn't find the other one. but they still kind of won. It's a cool mix. I felt it was easy to get into, and yeah, if you like Battlestar Galactica, you should definitely try this one.
I love Battlestar Galactica, so
I
and I
want
can't
to
wait
try
to
it
try it.
now. Now that I've tried
I like
Unfathomable,
bears and
now I want to
beats.
go back and play Battlestar Galactica.
All right. My number 3 is Lost Cities Rolling Right. I like Lost Cities. I'm not really a huge fan of the board game or Rivals.
Oh, interesting.
They really didn't do it for me. I like Rolling Rights, and this captures. It doesn't feel like Lost Cities. The card game is still the best Lost Cities, but the second best Lost Cities to me is the Rolling Right. I don't know, because there's still some of that risk of like, hey, am I going to finish this? Am I going to just have negative points? Things like that. I really enjoyed it. It's quick, and I made my own little solo version.
So, oh, that's cool.
Lost Cities Rolling
You
Right.
two love your rolling rights.
I really do.
Oh, it's a
really
pandemic.
do.
I mean, that's how we're playing a lot of the games. So
They are my jam.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
you're number 2.
Oh,
Candice.
my number 2?
Sorry, yes.
Yes.
Imperial Steam. So this is a really heavy game, like heavy economics and logistics, and it's after I played my first game, it had Brass vibes. You know, if you like Brass Birmingham or something like that. But it's different. It's different. You are basically trying to make a connection of rails down to Trieste, which is in the bottom left of the board. So it's like you're kind of racing to do that. If nobody connects there, any contracts you got don't score at all. And the object of the game is to have the most money. And so you're getting contracts and you're trying to fulfill them. But it's like the logistics puzzle is just insane with this game. It seems like a lot heavier when you first learn it, and when you teach it, it can be overwhelming because there are like 10 or 12 different actions, but they're all like really easy to understand and very interesting. And you're kind of at the bottom of the track, juggling influence. And it's also similar to Brass in that as you buy resources, they get more expensive. Similar as you buy workers and you need to exert workers to build rails, and you need this, and you have to have your cubes on your train, and you have a limited amount of space. It's like you're managing so many things logistically, but it's so good. It's like it's so good. And this is the same designer who made Lignum, which I haven't played yet, and now I definitely want to play. I've been wanting to play anyway, but Imperial Steam, please check it out.
It's interesting, the word, because the name of it, it's like, it's not like Steam, and it's not like any of the other Imperial games or Imperial.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm very interested in this one. I do like the whole,
we're supposed to play, me and Jackie, I think, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think you'll like it.
Yes.
Amanda, you're number 2.
My number 2 is Project L. So I know it kind of didn't come out.
Game.
It is so it's so good. I played it with Mark Street from the Dice Tower in, I think, is it 2000? Beginning of the pandemic. I don't know pandemic time anymore. But it had the second Kickstarter has not fulfilled yet, so I haven't gotten my copy. But it's so good. It's polyomino, but with Bakelite tiles. You can upgrade your pieces. You have this little store of your own pieces that you can put onto these cards, and they fit into the little, like, because the cards are all double layered, and oh my gosh, so good. You could combo, because when you finish a card, some cards give you points, some cards give you pieces, which then you can use in other cards, and it's just it just makes my polyomino puzzle loving brain really, really happy. And the pieces are just so feels so good to play with.
It's a great looking game.
Cool.
I'm definitely interested in playing it.
Me too.
Definitely.
Maybe one day. All right. And John's number 2 is Cantaloupe, Break into Prison. I hope I got the right one. I don't know.
Yes.
Okay.
So Cantaloupe is a cooperative, I do believe, puzzle game. And it's like a book. So it's really cool. I've watched people play it. I haven't played it yet.
I didn't know about this one.
A really cute art. Yeah.
I
A lot of
haven't heard
people
this
like
one
it, for sure.
It looks fun though.
Yeah.
All right. My number 2 is Super Mega Lucky Box, which we discussed earlier.
Yep.
All right. So
Candice.
Candice, your
Number one.
number one.
My number one.
Did I pick the right one?
Is...
Sorry. There we go. I'm on the right thing
now. My number one. Oh wait, I think you. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I went too far.
Is Brian Boru, High King of Ireland? Or Brian Boru. I don't know.
This is that one.
This is this one. This is a it's a game, an area majority game that has card drafting and trick taking, and it's I don't know. I really love it. You have.
I need to play it again because the trick taking game, like, really, I am so confused, but I need to play it again.
Yeah, your cards that you're playing tricks with are action cards, and depending on if you win the trick, you do like the top box action. But if you don't win the trick, you get to do one of, I think 1 to 3 different actions or like secondary actions. But it's a trick taking game where you don't always want to win. If you do win, you get to like claim a new territory that is like set at the beginning of the round. But if you don't win, you can do other things where you're trying to. There's a marriage track where you're trying to like form alliances with other families, and whoever's highest on that at the end of the round gets to take this marriage card, which is like points and lets you expand your territory. There, like Viking Raider tokens where it's like there's a whole competition to see how many people are contributing to taking care of the Viking problem, and the person who does it the least is going to get one of their towns raided, so they kind of like lose control of one of their towns. But it's one of those things. It's one of those things where you really have to watch what other people are doing, because it's very much a game where you play the players like, maybe I'll go to do the Vikings because I don't want to be last. Or maybe I'll go heavy on that so I guarantee I win because I get a point and some other fun thing. But you're just managing all these things that you want to do, where you want to do everything. You want to do well on all these tracks, but you can't usually. So, and then it's got like just really interesting area majority scoring.
With the towns on the board, because you can. Yeah, and like you want to connect them and stuff, but like that whole last round where I'm trying to lose, but you guys keep on making it was so freaking frustrating, y'all. It was so freaking frustrating. I was putting low cards, but no, they would just not put the cards in the trick the same color, and it's just like, stop letting me win. Oh my god.
But the
lesson of the game, it was just...
the lesson there will come with experience is in your drafting and making sure you have a variety of value cards and colors. But in the beginning, you're not going to be great at it your first game.
Oh my gosh, it was a crazy. I definitely need to play it again. But it's one of those that you're going to be so frustrated in your first game, especially playing with like experienced players. So just be aware of that. And
I was on a winning streak. I think my first 4 games I won every game, so that probably has some bias.
Nice.
But I'm just I think I'm just a big fan of Pierre Sylvester's games. Like I love Polynesia. I love The King is Dead. So like this, I suspected it was going to be like a hit with me, and man, I love it. I like breaking it out. It doesn't take that long to play, maybe hour and a half. Plays great at all player counts, so I'm a big fan of this one
for sure.
Okay, Amanda, your number one is
Steam Up, A Feast of Dim Sum.
I played this.
Oh my gosh, such a good game.
It's a good game.
Such a unique theme, done by 2 women in Canada, designed by 2 women in Canada, self-published through Kickstarter. The bits are absolutely amazing because they're little squishy bits of actual looking like dim sum, and asymmetrical powers, asymmetrical like a little bit scoring, because like some you want to eat a lot, some you don't. You have, oh my gosh, it's so much fun using the animals. The art is gorgeous. The designers are just wonderful human beings.
They're nurses too, right? Aren't they full-time nurses?
One's a nurse for sure. The other one's like a magician, but she also does something else. And it's their first game. It was so
they
well
knocked it out of the
produced.
park.
Those
components are.
And you literally have steamer baskets on a lazy Susan revolving thing, which is perfectly on theme. It is so much fun. I mean, there's like, there's the grandpa that like reaches over and, steals your food, from the other side of the Lazy Susan. You literally are moving the center because you can only eat from this like little pie reg that's closest to you, but some people can reach over, you can steal food. It's just, yeah. And then it's so good. It's so good. It's done on Kickstarter. They're fulfilling slowly. I definitely backed a deluxe copy because this is just so awesome.
Cool.
And yeah, I played it multiple times. They're wonderful, wonderful human beings, and so I'm very, very excited for this.
Candice, we did have a question about your game from James. That game or The King is
Yeah.
Dead?
I was just trying to log into Twitch so I could reply. I think for me, I think it's probably Brian Boru for me, but it might be too soon to say. It might be too soon.
It's a different feeling game. I think Brian Boru definitely is a little bit more complex, a little more strategy. It's a little more interesting in that you have to like, you have multiple times where you have to like kind of be like, oh, what am I gonna do? Like which cards am I gonna draft? Which cards am I gonna play? And do I want to focus on this?
Yeah.
You're gonna pivot a lot, so it's definitely different. But yeah.
Oh, your phones are dying.
John had like number two. He had 11. So I guess I don't know if he has two twos or 2 1s. He had the hunger as one.
Move on. What's his number one?
Number 1 is Furnace.
Furnace is so good, y'all.
I've not played Furnace yet.
Oh, Furnace is good. Yeah.
I've heard really good things.
Building. I mean, it's
just smooth.
But it's a bidding game, but you might want to lose because if you lose, then you get whatever at the top of the card. But if you win, you actually get the card and add it to your engine. But sometimes you need those resources to continue on your engine, and you could upgrade your cards. And it's definitely a bidding with a twist and a great engine building game. Yeah.
Yeah, super clean design, plays in like less than an hour.
Yeah.
It's
Arcane Wonders did a great job trying to add more diversity to the original Russian game, and
we had a long talk about some of those struggles and getting that game to the state.
I talked to Robert at PAX U in one of those like after hour meetups, and he was going on about like the expansion. There is an expansion coming, but he's like having such a hard time like balancing the diversity and what the box looks like, and he's like, no guys. But yeah.
All right, and my number 1 is Dinosaur Island Roar and Write.
Yes.
I really like this game. I opened up the app and messed around with it a bit, but no, this is really fun roll and write. It's a roll and write. You're designing your park. There's some dice worker placement kind of things going on. Such a good game.
Drafting. Yeah, it's a
cool.
really good game.
Oh, yeah. It's dice drafting. Yeah. Oh, Jess is here. I played with Jess.
Hi, Jess. Speaking of which. But no, it's a great game. It basically is like takes Dinosaur World. It kind of slims it down into a little run right. Only one person needs it.
Roar and Write. I love that.
It plays only 4 because there is dice drafting. But if you play solo, you can play a lot more people. There's now an app on Apple and Android.
It seems pretty slick.
It is. It's pretty good, but it does take a while because you have to like scroll up.
You have to scroll up,
open things in order to see everything. But it's a roll and write with you have 2 pieces of paper that you have to deal with. But it's fun. It's easy once you get into it. It's hard if you're learning the game. But yeah. Thank you, Jess, for being here. Bye-bye.
Okay, so that is my number 1. Candice, I know you are short on time. So your most played game of the year?
I think it was Scout.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I knew it. I'm still like, is it? I played a lot of Scout. I just discovered it, I think, back in August. And this is the new version that Oink Games put out. But this is actually a game that came out, I think, in 2019 or so, from a small publishing company in Japan, I believe. But it's just an awesome. I don't know if anyone has ever played Cascadia, which is now called Delt. It's a cool trick taking
Delt is fun.
Okay, if you think that's fun, you should play Scout. Like Scout takes that, like a lot of what that game is, where you can't rearrange the cards in your hand, but now you have numbers on to the top and bottom of your card, And at some point, you can take cards from opponents and you can put them anywhere you want and flip it any direction. So you're trying to make those similar combos that you were doing in Dealt. And it's just such a really fun.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it.
I played it.
But yeah, I'm going to be hopping on another stream in a little bit, and I do need to like eat a bite of food because I'm going to be playing a game for a couple hours.
But it's on YouTube, right? Your stream?
I think so. So.
Do you remember whose channel it's going to be on, just so that you can do
yes, but what is it called?
Do you want to scroll through her other things real quick?
Yeah. Did you have a biggest disappointment?
No, I did not have a biggest disappointment. No, not really. This is where the next one, my made up category.
Yeah.
I think there's some overlap because I think I talked about Twilight Imperium when we did this last year because I had played it for the first time. And I have since played it, I think, 3 or 4 other times. I've also played it with the Prophecy of Kings expansion. And I'm just giving it a shout out as like a game that I played and was just like, this is a top 10 game for me. And I just keep loving it more and more. I wish I had the time to like play at least once a month, but I know some people only get to play once a year. So I'm glad that I'm able to get like 4 games in and maybe I'll get some more in this year. But it's just like so epic. I love the negotiations. The political phase to it and the asymmetry of everybody's alien factions. And also, again, that race to get to 10 points. The same thing I love about like Dune Imperium. You're like, you're racing to get to those 10 points. And there's just all sorts of things going on. And it's just really exciting. And it's an epic day every time I play it. So
that's awesome. Yeah, TI4 is one of those hard to get to the table games.
Yes.
I've never played it.
It's gonna have
I'm kind of intimidated by the time commitment.
Where you take a day before or after the convention just to play it.
A whole day.
Otherwise, you need a day.
Yeah. It's a day.
It's a day for one
we
game.
got it done with 6 players in 7 hours and 45 minutes. But then other times I played and it's like 10-hour day. You know.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is snap breaks. But yeah.
But it's so engaging from start to finish. Like even when you're not doing any combat with people, there's just like this underlying tension and like, oh, can I trust that person? Oh, what are they really trying to do? You know, I don't know. It's not like it just tickles everything right in my mind when I'm playing it. So, so I was just giving that a shout out because I played it for the first time on January 1st, 2021.
Oh, that's cool. So cool.
Yeah. Kicked off last year with that. But yeah, I do need to bounce.
Yep.
So
did you figure out where you're going to bounce to? So if
that's what you're asking me. I am bouncing to stand by for a second. I think it's going to be on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I will just paste the link in the chat in case anybody's interested.
Okay. You have any shout outs or anything you want to say on your route? Thank you for being here, by the way. Always a pleasure.
No, thank you for having me. This is super fun. I'm like, I wish I had more time to hang out and chat and play some games with you guys today, but no, nothing crazy to shout out. I should have a new episode of Cardboard Creations coming out in the next week.
Okay, good.
And it's I chatted with Christian Marcuson, who designed Clash of Cultures. So that should be cool. But thanks everybody for watching. Thanks Aaron for putting this together. Great seeing you, Amanda.
Here. We appreciate your time.
And I'll have to follow up later to see what else you guys do if you're carrying on the chat.
Okay.
Totally.
All right.
Thank you much.
Catch you later. Thanks again.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, so I don't know if that messed up your window.
Oh no, I'll fix it real fast. I'll go to your most played and I'll get it fixed.
Okay. So let me see. My most played game of 2020. So the problem is that when I play a game on an app, I don't log every game. So it's gonna be a tie probably between Star Realms and Dominion. So I don't play Dominion the physical copy. I mainly play it um on the Dominion.games website. And it's just so easy to get 2 or 3 games in, boom, 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 right one after another, and play this with someone that really knows it, especially in a 2-player game. So that's why I've played so many of Dominion. And Star Realms is also great because the app is so clean and straightforward, and it's just quick, And I play a lot of Star Realms against the AI. I don't like playing Dominion against the AI, but yeah, so it's probably going to be one of these 2 games where I'm just like, a quick game, back to back. You know how to play it, so it's really easy to get in, and yeah, it's a fun little game. Yeah, I've been cutting it out.
I need to
But
play
yeah,
more of it. I have it. I just
which one?
just like vanilla, I guess, Star Realms.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
need to play it more because my first deck builders were like Mystic Veil and Shards of Infinity, and I like those so much.
Oh, so good. I
It's
love
hard,
those.
those are like
Yeah.
the ones that got me started. But I've played the app before, so I get it. I just haven't really. I don't know. And if would I be wrong in assuming that I guess Shards and Ascension are heavily influenced by Star Realms, or
Probably. And
yeah.
Dominion. I mean, Dominion's the first and then Star Realms. I love deck building games. I just think they're a lot easier to play in an app.
Oh yeah,
That's why
most
I love the
definitely.
Mystic Veil app. I love Shards of Infinity app. I love the Dominion
Oh,
online
you
and
play?
Star
Okay,
Realms.
we should be playing some Shards. I like
We
Shards.
should. Oh my gosh, I love Shards of Infinity. But yeah, those 4 deck builders are just so wonderful. It's just that because the Star Realms app is just so easy on my phone, I can play against the AI really quickly. I really need to get the expansions. I have the physical. I'm hoping to do like some content for the whole line of Star Realms and Hero Realms. The Hero Realms app is currently, being released right now. And they're just so great. It's just that it's one of those. Star Realms is just so easy on your phone that it's really quick. I don't know if Mystic Veil or Shards is on the phone.
Oh, it's on the phone.
Um, it's on the phone.
It's
Okay,
on the
that's where
phone.
you play it. I might have to download
I play it
that
on my
because
phone. I
that.
play it on Steam. I play it on Switch. I play the physical version. I like that game. Sorry.
Yes,
So,
I love it too. Oh, Poison Puff. Poison Pink Puff says my boyfriend kicks my butt in Mystic Veil. Yes. And there's a lot
it's
of
so good.
expansions for Dominion. There's a lot of expansions for Star Rails and Heroes. There's a lot of expansion for Mystic Veil and Shards of Infinity. So I mean, there's room to grow in those games, and I love them all.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
I
Um.
don't. Did John? Okay, John just had a an honorable mention for his list, which was Cubitos.
Okay. Yep.
So
Yep. Good
John has
game. Good
John has
game.
good taste.
Yes.
My most played game is Point Salad in terms of the number of games played because that's a game that my family will always pretty much play. So
Hmm.
that's my most played game. Point Salad.
Nice.
Great
Nice.
game. I make it. It's a gift every time we send like a some relatives or family games for the kids. I always throw in a box of copy of Point Salad because you got to get them started. You got to play those
Totally.
games.
Totally. For sure. It's a great game. Yeah. To get anybody into.
Indeed.
Um.
All right. Biggest disappointment.
I don't. Okay. I don't really I don't really have a lot of games that I'm hyped about and then disappointed about. Because any game that I'll play, if I'm really hyped about it, most of the time I've already watched it played or, like heard about it, so I know I'm gonna like it.
Mm-hmm.
But on the day that Eric showed me 8 new games from his collection that he needed to get reviewed, Take the
8.
A Chord from Sashi and Sashi
Mm-hmm.
was kind of disappointing. I was like, oh, it's a music game with jazz. Maybe it'll be cool. And I think it's trick taking, and we didn't like it. It fell flat, to everyone. So, and it was disappointing because Sashi and Sashi is really, a good publishing house and stuff like that. And most of the games I kind of liked, so I was just like, maybe not. But yeah, I think that's. I mean, I was looking through my list of games from 2021. That's the only game I kind of didn't like when I played it.
Okay. I necessarily have a game that was a disappointment. My Mine was more of like the idea of like liking a game and appreciating it, and then realizing the people who made it or the publishers are horrible people. Like, and then feeling like you don't want to support them. You want to play the game, but you don't want to give them money to play the game. So it's just like, I guess I'm not playing that game. So that was, I know that's very generic, and I probably should have, I could have had a list of stuff up here, but it was just the idea of just, bad actors, people out there, saying horrible things and doing horrible things. And it's just like, ugh, talented people who are also awful people, realizing something you have an affinity for. You're like, oh, they said what? Oh gosh. And it changes the way, it could change your perception of the game. And, it's unfortunate. So, yeah. I can't hear you for some reason.
Oh, sorry, that was me. I was muted.
Oh.
It's really hard because like there's this one publisher, they're coming out with great games. I don't want to support because they support people that are not that great in the community.
Yeah.
Or like
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Or and there's a game that, and there are games in my collection that I really enjoy, but I will never show it off online because it's not they come out to be like not great people or abusers and stuff, and I'm like,
yep.
I'm just gonna hide it away, and then
I put them behind my other games and my calyx.
Yeah.
Why is that sticking out? Don't worry about that. The stuff behind
don't
it.
look behind the other games.
Exactly.
But then it's hard because it's like, oh, you're gonna like this game, but you don't want to support it. But there's so many other games, I guess you could just like ignore it, but then there's so much hype around it, so you're constantly being bombarded with that name or the game title and stuff, and people loving the game, and you kind of feel left out at the same time. So I totally feel you. It's hard.
Oh, Quaid Rain says up or entire digital platforms. Yeah that you've sunk ridiculous amounts of money to over the last, I don't know, 15, 16 years, if not more.
Yeah. Or that you have to maybe, like that platform, right, for crowdfunding. But then there's another platform for like gaming where, like, if you playtest, a lot of games are on there, and it's like, well, you have to continue on until whoever you're playtesting with moves it, and it's very hard to move.
It is
to something else.
And people are out there trying, coming up with, these are all the alternatives. People are out there, doing good work. It's unfortunate,
Yeah, for sure. But I'm glad that it's coming out to life.
Oh, yeah.
That I know I don't have to support them, and I don't want to, keep them going with whatever horrible thing they think they can get away with, because, if they get away with it, multiple times and no one stops them, then they're just going to continue.
Yeah, there's no reason for them not to. Yeah. Did you have any most anticipated for this year? You have any games for that?
I don't do that because I don't look that far ahead. There's just way too many, and I don't want to get all hyped about it and then not be able to play it. And then there's already games that I'm so hyped about that I haven't been able to play. So I'm just like, I'm not the type of person to constantly look at what's coming up next, unless it's like I can get a demo of it or a preview of it, that type of thing, from a publisher. But I'm just getting into that sphere of influence, or that that web of connections. So it's not probably a game that it's not probably a list that I would be able to do off the top of my head.
I just had a couple of them.
What were yours?
Grove. I did a preview for it, but I had to send that copy off to somebody else, and I miss it. It's a splaying game where you're trying to put down different, like, was it lime, oranges, and lemons?
Oh, okay, yeah,
with the dice. Very fun game. Gartenbau from 25th Century. I demoed that on, I guess, a platform that we're not really talking about.
Yeah.
Very fun. I'm really looking forward to that. Hey, Ben Ostina's in the house.
Hey, Ben.
Creature Comforts. I previewed it. Had to send that copy. Actually, I sent that copy to somebody in Russia.
Crazy.
And it got lost, and then it got in 6 months later, it got sent back.
Oh,
I was like, oh, it came back to me. But then they were like, hey, could you send it to somebody else? I'm like, yes. So I sent it to somebody else. So I look forward to getting my copy in. Night Market. I have the prototype from where is it? Talon Strikes. But I know that they made some changes to some of the imagery and things like that to get it more in line with maybe where it should be. So I'm looking forward to that. It's kind of a table hog, but it's so worth it. It's a very fun
I haven't heard of Night Market. I have
collection.
heard of Rolling Heights. It's coming to Kickstarter soon.
Yeah, Rolling Heights. I mean, who knows when that's really going to come out? But yeah, another John D. Clare joint. Like I just saw it at PAX. I'm not important enough to have them, to demo it, but I did see it and I'm like, oh, that looks nice. And then last but certainly not least, Azul Queen's Garden.
Oh,
I love Azul,
the next one, the fourth one, right?
Yes,
oh my God.
I've not played the second one. I just own the first and third, but I'm hearing it offers a lot of new mechanics. It's a little crunchier, so I'm like, let's go. So
yeah. I mean, a lot of people don't like the second one as much as the third one, so it got kind
most people, I feel like, just straight up don't like the second one. Like it's like, no, don't. Let's not even play this game. So, all right. So we've been talking for quite some time, so we're gonna get out of here. So Amanda, any shout outs or plugs or anything you want to give on your way out?
No, just I hope you follow me, find me everywhere under Panda Angel, PANDA, the number 8 NGEL. I like to play and talk about board games. If you want to have me on, I'm happy to guest. But yes, I'm streaming a lot. I stream Tuesday evenings Pacific time. I stream Thursday, Friday noon Pacific, and I started streaming Sunday. This Sunday is going to be a little bit different, and I'm streaming right after this stream. Actually, I think I might push it back an hour because I want to Rolling Heights, John DeClaire, and a person from AEG is going to do a little Twitter space little live stream. So but yeah, my Sunday stream is going to be video games. So I'm starting into that with Slay the Spire, another deck builder mechanic that I love.
Very difficult game.
Yeah, very, very good. And I'd be, guesting on Book and Nerd's channel, who unfortunately couldn't be here, and on Jess_CCG's channel. So I hope you follow me on Twitter for my schedule and on Twitch, and join me on a live stream in the chat sometime, or even, on the stream. I have pulled people from the chat to be on my stream, but those are the people that I know that already stream. So yes, James, I agree that this stream is very VODable. So yeah, if you missed it, like Ben has come in just recently, please do rewatch it. I think you are putting it onto your GameEnthus YouTube channel.
Everything will go up on YouTube. Yep.
Yeah. Do you have a podcast, like actual podcast channel, or is it just on YouTube?
It's just on YouTube. There's a playlist of all the podcasts. Every podcast isn't on YouTube, but all the most recent ones last year or so are all up on YouTube. So
that's cool. That is cool. Yeah. What about you? What are you doing next?
Nothing.
More reviews, previews, and
yes. I do have a preview I need to work on for Motor City, which is a follow-up from Three Sisters from Motor City Games.
Oh, yes.
So I actually played some more of that with Jess and Jonathan Liu. I forgot what channel he's from. And Gus. We played some of that yesterday. I should have something I've contributed to All PG Voices. So when that comes out, I should have a segment on there. So and Dwayne did a segment of Maglev Metro. I believe he and his wife did a How to Play. I believe they did. I watched it. They did a How to Play on the I guess the first All PG Voices video. So that was really nice to see. I don't have anything. I just have previews and stuff that I need to do, but I don't have anything like streaming wise in the next couple of days, or maybe almost a week, I guess.
Nice.
So, but yeah, thank you to everybody who jumped into the chat to watch this. A lot more viewers than I normally get, so I appreciate those views and follows and subs, all those things. Really appreciate it. Shout out to Mike and Tiny, co-hosts of the GameEnthus podcast. Maybe one day they'll play enough board games to join us. We'll see what happens. If you want to leave feedback, you can always hit us up on Twitter at GameEnthus or at Indifference. Second eyes are 1. You can send us an email, podcast@GameEnthus.com. You always just voicemails we accept as well, 202-573-7686. And I would be remiss if I did not mention that GameEnthus is still going to be, continuing to support Extra Life.
Yes.
So, although I do need to update the stuff on the site, we will be participating in Extra Life in 2022. So, yeah,
Awesome. That's so awesome.
things going on.
Yeah.
And the episode episode 443 was actually just recorded on Thursday with Phantom Meeple. So this show and that show will probably come around the same time. So you can listen to it, be on Spotify and everywhere else. And the video should both be up on YouTube probably the same day. In a couple of days, I'll get both of those edited and ready to go.
Excellent.
And that is it.
Who are you gonna raid?
Oh yeah.
You don't have to raid me. I did just go live, but you don't have to raid me.
Why wouldn't I? I'm an old man, so this plan is is it /host/raid?
/raid.
/raid. Yeah. Okay. And
yeah. I am trying to just level up enough or get enough like of the point system to unlock the next characters. So Quaid says Aaron's slowly moving GameEnthus to all board game platforms. His co-host will not allow him to.
No, they won't. But I still play a lot of video games too, so that I like talking about those as well. So I like games, you know.
Yeah,
I just like games. Thank you all for being here. We'll send you all over to where Amanda is going to be streaming. Thank you, Amanda, once again. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, so much fun. It's always such a great time. And don't, if you love Aaron, he will be on my stream multiple more times. I'm going to just say that.
As many times as she'll let me be on. So,
yes.
enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.